I'm sinking fast. Come and save my life before it pass. Scratching at the surface, but the bottom's where I'm at. Only place my addiction will tell me that I'm free at last. So why the fuck you playing with my head? I said I'm done. Any and everything I had is gone. I said you won. You promised that we'd only be together for a minute, then we finished. But my life is past another year. Why the fuck is you in? I gave up everything for you, even my house. Now I'm begging on a nightly basis to sleep on the couch. My counselor said I need to find a way to block the pain. I told him it was already too late. She is in my veins, and he said,
tell me what led you on, I'd love to know.
Well, it's just that when I felt her the first time I flew, nobody gives me the high that she do. See, we fight all the time and she leaves bruises on my arms, but the way she makes me feel inside, that girl can do no wrong. Now all my family hates me since I started fucking with her, and all my friends that left me cause they jealous that I'm with her. I tried to break it off, but she gets me back with the feel. After everything she did, why the fuck do I love that needle? Please help me.
Twice I turned my back on you. I fell flat on my face but didn't lose.
Lord, this love's killing me, literally. Every time I start to pick you up, you finish me. Used to love waking up in the mornings and feeling you. Now I'm just ashamed, wearing long sleeves, concealing you. Bitch, you wasn't shit. How the fuck could you do this? Now my fucking life is ruined. I'ma kill you, bitch, I'll do it. So I tie it up, stick that shit up in my skin, and overdose on your love so I can't have it again.
Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love. Gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's over flesh and blood, I let the devil take my soul. Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love, but I gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's over flesh and blood, I let the devil take my soul. I gotta make something happen quick. Contemplating playing devil's advocate. There's addicts in my cast, but they ain't actors and actresses. They arms is fractured with the scars from the cause of what's happening. Packaged in that blue wrap, youngins wanna move that. They know they gon' do what they gotta to come through back. I was in that trap then, everybody knew that, cause everybody was then. Now it's like we dug in. See my man 200 pounds, now he like $110. Started with them perk 10s, damn we was bucks then. Friends we grew up with is getting life plus 10. I just owe my flesh and blood, know how much I love them. For real. Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love, but I gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's over flesh and blood. I let the devil take my soul. Take my soul, take my soul, let him take my soul. Sometimes I think I feel the devil take control. Why they gotta speak so reckless? Are they dumb? I hate this phone. Sometimes I hate this hustle life, but I be making dough. See me making dough. Audi on the payment score. Haters know. All diesel on me like I'm slinging dope. Yeah, gotta take it slow. Yeah, I'ma take it slow. But deep down I know I'ma make it though. Roaches scatter when you turn the light on. I had to get my flight on. They say I had to build myself up. They was right on. Snakes in the grass, feed the rats to the pythons. I'm down 5, no time left, reach for the pylon. Cause I'm just trying to score, I'm just trying to soar. Everybody draw, this the art of war. Cause we was in that bando, sleeping on the floor. I sacrificed for mine, what did you sacrifice for yours? I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. But if it's all flesh and blood,
Mesdames et messieurs, vous
I let the
écoutez
devil
une
take my
production.
soul. Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love, but I gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's all flesh and blood, I let the devil take my soul. Take my soul, take my soul, don't take my soul. Sometimes I think I feel the devil take control.
JB, you sauced up.
RIPs and keep your head up. RIPs and keep your head up. He was doing too much, someone had to get him. Said he almost got away but didn't. I was glad they hit him. Always moving backwards, shady characters in traffic with him. Type of dudes you'd only meet in prison or out trapping with him. Nightmares turning normal days. My boy beat his plug and put up swerving in that quarter 8. 745, all black, just like the 38. They found on his lap, slumped over, he was 28. Mama, nah, you won't bury me, I know the art of war. Carnivores, me and Jimmy breaking bricks down on the floor. Then he died, swear to God, it's like I'm losing everybody. Real and raw, I rode till the wheels fell off on every ride. Stayed in tune, I just gave out jewels soon as they played the tune. Made it boom, nickel on each chicken, then we take it to him. Face your doom, I just pour the gas up and I face the fumes. Still on top like Pop when he drop shake the room. RIP. RIPs and keep your head up. RIPs and keep your head up. We was always bidding, always chasing plays. Sometimes it went how it's supposed to go, sometimes it take us days. But we had each other's backs. Then I caught that 4 to 8. Then I never heard from you. Then I heard that you OD. I see your mom, she said she can't believe it's still true. I'm sick that I can't go and kill whatever killed you. I almost got a deal, but some shit happened and it fell through. I bought a half a brick again, cause no one's gonna help you. You gotta grind. Me and Grizzy got down to them dollar signs. Till we hit a lick, he blew his half and says he wanted mine. You gotta watch out for the warning signs, but y'all, I'm fine. I'm just trying to last until my stars align. Until a sucker calls the reaper on me. I can tell your plot by how y'all speaking on me. Smith & Wesson 9mm on me. Keep it on me. He got high and fucked my money up. Said you could keep it, homie. Keep your head up. RIPs and keep your head up. RIPs and keep your head up. You can't feel that, you ain't out here.
All right, let's get started here. What's up, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to this stream. This is something we've been talking about for a while, you know. We want to kind of just tell our stories and stuff with, you know, with addiction in an effort to probably try to spread a message, you know. I mean, the drug abuse is just completely horrible in this country right now. The amount of fentanyl that's flooding in from our borders, that are going into every single inner city, that are being flooded out to every single suburb and county. You know, it's a real friggin' problem. Your kids are susceptible to this stuff. And we're just trying to maybe share what we went through in an effort to show maybe some warning signs or some things that maybe you don't understand, because we know a lot of people maybe have sons or daughters or husbands or family members and struggle with addiction, and they may not understand why. Like, why is this happening? Why is this person choosing to stay on the street and stick a needle in their arm instead of come home and be with me and our family and his children? My parents, for the longest time, could never understand that. And that my father and parents both had to really research and understand what opioid specifically addiction was. But you know, uh, I'm just saying it is a real issue, and a lot of people don't know for the signs to look through. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and some people don't understand how depression is some part of it, or issues or actions happening in people's life end up making them that cure.
Yeah, the mental illness. That's a big issue. A lot of people are dual diagnosed. They don't even realize it. They don't even realize why they're taking drugs in the first place. Like, they're going through all these issues in their head. Like, when I was a kid, growing up, I'm gonna start with my story now. Like, growing up, uh, you know, I had a lot of issues as a kid. Things that I didn't understand why I was feeling a way I was feeling, and I didn't feel comfortable talking about it with my parents. I grew up. I was born right outside of Philadelphia, right, really close to South Philadelphia. My father comes from South Philadelphia. I was actually born in South Philadelphia, but we moved out to Delaware County when I was a young baby. We stayed out there for until I was about 8 years old, and my father got a really good job up in Bucks County, which is the other side of Philadelphia. It's about an hour away from Delaware County. So we moved up there, and I had to start a new school. I had to start everything all over, meet new friends. I was 9 years old. My sister was 4, and I started to grow up. Now, as I started to grow up, I noticed things. The way I would feel. Um, I felt myself envying people at school, certain people like that I would want to be like. So right away, my self esteem was down because I was trying to emulate another person. And this is hard for me to talk about. This is opening myself up for all kinds of shit on the internet, but I don't care about that. I really don't. I'm not gonna let um some hate or ignorance for other people dictate what I do on my channel. But this is real talk. Like, I didn't feel right as a kid. I didn't feel like I fit in with a group of kids. I didn't feel like I was smart. I could I struggled all through school. I didn't get A's and B's. I got C's and D's, and I barely got through. My mother really had to work with me, and it wasn't because I was stupid or intellectual. It was just because I learned differently. I can't learn book wise. I need to see things to be able to learn them. That's why I was able to pick up being an auto mechanic so easily. And when I went to school as an auto mechanic, I didn't really learn anything because I just sat there the whole time in the class and I didn't absorb anything. But when I'm in a shop and I'm watching people work and I see what they're doing, I can do it. And that's how I learned. That's how I learned for 20 years to be an auto mechanic. So in school, I didn't do good. And I wound up, suffering with my depression because of that. So right away, I'm doing things to try to fit in with groups of kids to gain acceptance. My self-esteem is down. And no, as a kid, you don't feel comfortable going to mom and dad and saying, Mom, I'm really depressed. I don't know why I don't feel like I fit. You understand? These are things that I just didn't feel comfortable talking about. Like, I didn't feel comfortable doing that. And so I kept it in. I kept everything bottled in. And the first drug I ever did was alcohol. I would have we would sleep over each other's houses, me and my friends, play video games all night long, watch movies and shit, and sneak into our parents' liquor cabinets. And that was the first time I ever got drunk. And I didn't like alcohol. I didn't drink. I got sick, and I pretty much didn't partake in too much of that. I mean, I've gotten drunk a couple different times in my life, but it wasn't my thing. But then I started to smoke weed, and you could tell right away the kids in the neighborhood that I would experiment weed with in order to fit in. Like, the whole reason I hit that pipe was just because they were doing it. You understand? I probably would have never fucking did it if I didn't want that acceptance from them. There's kids in my neighborhood that would see kids doing shit like that and walk past it because they fucking were smart, you know? And so I did that. And right away I felt that I loved it. And I just started smoking weed all the time. It was like I was a burnout right then and there. Method Man was coming out. Wu-Tang Clan was coming out. It was all that Iron Lung, Smoke L shit. So we would smoke weed all the time in school, out of school. In 8th grade, I was dropping acid. You understand? People would have, oh, somebody's got this. Oh yeah, they're coming to me excited. So in order for me to want to gain acceptance, I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm excited too. Let's go. I'll do it. So you understand? It was ignorance why I first started using drugs, and it was to gain acceptance, and it was over peer pressure, flat out. And so I'm here at the age of 14 years old, tripping my head off in the middle of a science class, and I just can't believe it. My parents have no idea some of the things that went under their nose, and it scares me to fucking death about my own kids, my own boys. I don't want to be a dictator in their life and hunt them and follow them and nag them, but I'm so afraid for them. Their genetics are not good. Me and their mother were both really bad drug addicts, you know? So I'm very afraid for my children. So this is another reason why I'm telling this, is because I want you guys to fucking watch out for your kids, because this stuff will take your kids away from you. It'll take your kids away from you forever. So basically, I'm doing drugs in high school. I'm doing acid. I'm smoking weed. I'm doing it all the time. I had a really good talent in high school. I was playing the trumpet. I started playing the trumpet at the age of 12 years old. I think it was 3rd grade or something like that. And right away, I picked it up good. I was really good at it. I made all the different groups in school. I made first chair. I went to county band. I went to state band. I won jazz band awards, soloist awards. I was really, really good. I could have made a serious career out of being either a music teacher or a professional trumpet player. So, or I could have just been a professional trumpet player on the side and made a lot of money. But right away in high school, the drugs started taking that away from me, because at the age of 16 years old, I was in the jazz band and we were having a festival. And this was the first time I ever went down to Kensington, Philadelphia. I was 15 or 16 years old. It was a jazz band festival, and we were there all day long. We had to host a bunch of bands coming. There was food all over the place. You know what I mean? It was a festival, an all-day thing, and we had downtime. So there was there was some of my friends were driving at that time, and there was a kid that played trumpet with me, right? And he had money. He had a bunch of cash on him. And there was another kid that I used to smoke and get high with that was I would say, I'm not going to say corruptible, but was not a good kid, did drugs, didn't give a fuck if he got suspended, shit like that. You know what I mean? And he went to me and said, yo, let's just take him down and see if he wants to, because he always talked about wanting to smoke with us. Oh, you guys smoking weed? Yo, next time you got the weed, let me know. I'm in. You know, he was like one of those dudes. Like, I felt bad because he was trying real hard for acceptance. Like, he wasn't fitting in. See, for me, I was trying hard for acceptance, but I was able to mingle myself in and finagle people and to really kind of manipulate people in a way to accept me. You know, I wasn't standoutish like this dude, and so everyone knew this dude was like a mark, put it that way. And so we went and grabbed him. We jumped in the whip and we went down to Kensington, and oh my god, I'll never forget that time. We got the weed and shit, and it was the dude's car, like, and he fucking he hit a car, right? He fucking or not a car. He hit one of the there's like these platforms underneath the train in Kensington. He fucking ran into one of the platforms and then backed up and drove away after he like made a mistake on one of the turns, and his bumper was like hanging a little bit, right? So he pulls up to the next light, and these three Puerto Rican guys come over, grab the bumper, wiggle it, rip it straight off the fucking car and walk away. And he's like screaming at the top of his lungs, like, what are we doing? Oh my God, why are they taking my bumper? It was fucking funny as shit. That's just some of the shit that I remember. And I remember, I was like, all right, let's just get the fuck out of here. So we left, right? We went back up to the festival. We started to smoke. And I told him, I was like, just tell your mom the shit was in the parking lot. Somebody fucking hit it, took the bumper or something like that. I was just tell her anything. You know, I was like, just tell her you got in an accident and it's still on the street somewhere. And we started to smoke, and he got so fucking high. Like, I couldn't believe how fucking high he got. And then I got scared because I knew he was going to get us caught. Like, this dude was like putting on a full-on performance in front of everybody on how he can like act like movies and laugh at the top of his lungs. And we're at a serious jazz band festival. We're in like tuxedo things, and we're like talking to future colleges about possibly getting music scholarships. You know, this was like a big day for us. So this was a really stupid decision. This could have been big for me, but one decision took it away. Is my point. Why I'm telling the story. And so he comes back and he starts acting a fool, starts acting like Jim Carrey in the freaking Ace Ventura movie in front of like the band director. And like everybody's just fucking looking at this dude. So, you know, I think he wound up going home, and they let us perform. Like, I still played in the concert that night. But then the next day when I went to school, I got called down to the principal's office, and they started to question me about it. And I denied everything. I was like, fuck no, we didn't do shit. I didn't smoke anything. No, I don't know what he's talking about. And then, so then he told us that the kid that was acting like that went home, told the principal that me and this other kid basically talked him into going down to the city and get fucking weed and all this other shit. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, wow, like, are you really fucking just ratting me the fuck out right in front of me? And so basically they drug tested us. They found the weed in our system. They kicked us out of the jazz band. I couldn't perform the rest of the year with the band. I could only play in general band because they needed me for that. I was the only one to play the solo in the middle of the football field. So they used me for what they needed me for and kicked me out of all the other extracurricular band activities, which pretty much, you know, I wasn't going to get a scholarship at that point because my grades weren't that good. If I was going to get a scholarship, it was going to be because of how good I played. So, but right away when you're tainted like that, you know, it's just a really bad look. Kind of fucked me up. It set me off on a lower roller coaster. I started to meet a different group of friends at that point who went to Kensington more frequently. Okay, so we were leaving school. We were going down the city. We were getting coke. We were snorting coke in high school. I hadn't gotten into opiates till after high school. So, you know, right away, I'm seeing myself teeter down, you know. I'm not having any type of relationship with my family. I'm coked up out of my mind. I'm smoking weed all the time. I'm staying up all night long. They notice the changes, my mom and dad. They do. But, you know, right away, I deny shit. I can deny things like that. So, you know, I basically didn't graduate high school because I didn't go to school at all this senior year. I couldn't walk in my senior graduation. I couldn't go to senior prom. I basically was just told to leave. And so I left, and I had to go to a different school. I had to go to like an alternative school in Philly to finish credits for high school. And then they said if I finished my credits down there in this different school, that they would give me a diploma from my original high school. So I did that. I went down there. I did the credits. I got in some trouble in that school too with another girl. You know, we got caught with drugs. Got caught smoking weed in the school. I got close to getting kicked out of that school too. You know, my parents were on a tearing end at this point, but I got through high school, and my mother, by the skin of her teeth, you know, like really calling these teachers, begging them to give me a chance, begging them to, you know, she went to bat for me. My mother is my angel. She is everything to me. Everything, like my first love always. She helps me with my boys in a major way. And I'll never forget the things that she did for me as a young kid, trying to steer me on the right path. But I was ignorant. I was doing my own thing, and I had these other group of kids that I was hanging out with, and we were kind of just allegedly getting a bunch of stuff from down there and making money up here and being able to party, have these parties with the money we made. And it was like that was like my good time in addiction. Like, if you ask me, like, I had fun then. And I was only taking perks here and there. Heroin wasn't involved. All that shit wasn't involved. It was like coke, you know, having parties, you know, girls. I was really having a lot of fun. And, you know, I was able to hold down a job when it was like that. I was still going to work. I was making money. Things were good. So then I started to pick a different career. I decided I was going to go work on cars. I went to tech school. I got a job at a shop. And at that shop, the owner of the shop apparently was in with this biker gang that's really big around here, allegedly. and he would bring in like lots and lots and lots and lots of like Percocets, Oxycontins, Loracets, Vicodins, like all those painkiller pills. This was like the height of the opiate epidemic, not the height of the opiate epidemic, when the opiate epidemic started. Basically, when they flooded all these doctors' offices with Oxycontin, and everybody was getting prescribed Oxycontin for anything, and they were using those illegal scripts in a major way. Organized crime had a lot of Oxycontins, biker gangs, all types of gangs. I mean, you can go to Philly; they had oxys right on the corner, just like dope bags. So oxys were everywhere at that time, and they were really, really, really cheap. And I got them from my boss, and I actually tried one, and that was probably definitely the worst mistake of my life. If I could have avoided that one moment, I could have probably saved myself 20 years of pain, serious pain. That one decision, it was just one time that I decided to do it that changed everything for me. It literally did. It set that trigger off in my head. I took that pill, and after I can't explain the feeling. You know, it was I just can't explain it. I'm never going to do that justice, because that pill still haunts my mind to this day. It haunts my mind. Like that pill, I have nightmares about that pill still, you know, and that is what started my entire addiction. I was getting tons and tons of Oxycontin pills, and I was flipping them allegedly, and basically I was getting lots and lots of money to be able to do lots and lots of pills. Like, it wasn't like I was flaunting jewelry and buying houses with this drug money. I was putting that shit right back in my body with the same shit I was selling. So allegedly. So you know, it wasn't good. My addiction started taking off in a major way, and trust me, the warning signs were there. You know, my family saw it. They noticed it. Me being sick. I don't even talk. My emotion. I changed so much. So much. It was obvious. And my parents, I love them so much, but their biggest fault was denial. They denied it. My mother, they denied it. Denial killed them. And they enabled me in a major way to continue being sick. And I will never, ever blame them for it, because I took advantage of it. I manipulated them as much as I possibly could. And my parents are such good people, such good, heartful, loving people. I'm not going to go over the Italian thing again, but we have like a solid blood love, and they'll do anything for me. And I would do anything for them. And I took advantage of that love, you know? So my addiction got worse. And then right away, the government started to realize that maybe Oxycontin wasn't 1% addictive, because, you know, this whole opiate epidemic started from a major mistake from the government, as well as corruption with the pharmaceutical companies. So you have the pharmaceutical companies and the United States of America to blame for this entire opioid epidemic. And that's a fact, because when Oxycontin came out, the FDA, which is a government agency, put out a government note for Purdue Pharma, the company that made Oxycontin, saying that Oxycontin was less than 1% addictive, which is a bold-faced lie. That pill is the most addictive pill on earth. On earth. 100% addictive. 100%. So, you know, that shit was horrible for me. It went bad. And then right away, when they figured out that this may be addictive and overdoses are having all over the country and people are dying left and right, maybe we should not put so much of this out there and maybe crack down on it some. So, you know, all of a sudden Oxycontin doubled in price. And everything was so expensive and so extremely, extremely hard to find. A lot of addicts like myself, when we were sick and we couldn't find anything, you know, Kensington is literally 25 to 30 minutes away from my house. If I didn't have a car, I could still easily get there through bus and train. So, yeah, that's where it led me. It was down in Kensington. And that's North Philadelphia. If you guys don't know what that is, that's the biggest open-air drug market on this country. It is probably the worst ghetto in this country. There's videos on my channel. There's videos on morals over money. If one of the mods can drop morals over money, that's like a freaking awesome channel. That's where I come from, and that's a channel that really helps drug addicts in Kensington. And so that's where it took me. Was down there, and yeah, that place is hell. That place is hell. But it wasn't as bad back then. I was going in the early 2000s. There wasn't so many addicted people on the street putting needles in their neck right in front of the cops. The cops still would arrest you if they knew you were from the suburbs going down there to get drugs. Like I would get fucked with by a couple cops because they knew I wasn't from there. So I had to really move a certain way when I was down there because I was racially profiled. And they right away knew that I didn't belong in that neighborhood. So they pulled me over. But a lot of the times they pulled me over, they either would take my drugs and let me leave, or they would just let me leave. Never really got arrested. That's a fact. It's just so much drug use going on down there that a lot of times they don't want to deal with the headaches of it. I couldn't believe it. The one time I got pulled over down there with like 3 or 4 bundles of dope and a bunch of crack and coke, the guy just like, he knew that I copped shit. He didn't know what I had. He didn't find it. But he pulled me out of the car and had a conversation with me and said, look, I know you went and got shit. He's like, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know what's in your pocket. I don't want to know what's in the back pocket. But I see you down here all the time. And I see you getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm telling you, one of these days you're going to get it. You're going to fucking get it. And you're going to be away from your parents forever. Think about it. Right now, I could have you. I could take you away from your family. I could take your car. This girl that's in your passenger seat would be left on the street. Do you want that? And he had like this talk with me that it kind of got me to move away differently down there to where I was kind of sending somebody else to go down there for me and talk to somebody that I knew down there. And then I was just doing it like that for a while instead of going down there and copping it myself. So basically, that happened. And, started using heroin, started snorting it. And, my life got worse and worse and worse. Worse and worse and worse. Heroin's different than Oxycontin. I don't know how to explain how it's different. It's not as clean. Okay, the highs don't last as long unless you get some really good dope, and the sicknesses are pretty much they're the same. They are the same. So, I just traded one thing for another because I could get it. So I would snort dope all the time until the tolerance built up, and I couldn't afford the dope that I was snorting to get me better. So, because I know a girl that I was with at the time, I met her. I actually went to all right. Let me back up a minute. I missed one part. Okay, I was with this girl too. I met a girlfriend. She was very close to me, and I met her. She lived in South Philly. We were together for 5 years. I was with her when I was doing drugs, but not the opiates and not the heroin. I was with her when I was doing like weed and a little bit of coke here and there. I was really stable. I was really a good boyfriend. We had a really good relationship. She was my first love. And, because of me going to the heroin and the things that I did to her, like taking money from her family, ripping her sister off when she wanted drugs. I brought a lot of shit to her life. She was a really good girl who went to college all the time. Grew up very poor with lots of brothers and sisters, very poor, and worked her fucking ass off to get where she is today. Like really worked her ass off, went to college, worked the whole way through it to gain enough money. And wound up happening is she did really well for herself. But with me, I got everything handed to me. So I had so much respect for her because she came up different than I did. But it didn't change my addiction, and my addiction just kept getting worse. And she really loved me. She tried so hard. She went down one day in the morning, talked to my father when we were at my mom and dad's house, and had this conversation and basically told him what I was doing. And I was so angry with her that day. And there was a scene here. I remember my fucking dad came into the room. He took this phone book. It was a heavy ass phone book. I was dead ass passed out on my bed. He took this phone book and he just fucking slammed it, like fucking threw it at me like a fucking rocket. He said, pick a fucking place to go. Like he was fucking pissed. And I looked at her and she looked at me and I was like, you fucking bitch. I was so fucking angry. and I was wrong. I was dead wrong for being angry. But I did. I was angry. I react impulsively a lot of times. I have a really bad temper sometimes. And I did that day. And I wound up making a spectacle of everything and leaving and being gone for a while. And it was because of that day that we didn't see each other for a while. And I went and got clean. I went to rehab. I got clean. I got clean. But you understand, with opiates, I couldn't get too many days clean with opiates. I came home. I didn't do any type of real work. I didn't stay away long enough. I don't know what it was, why I relapsed in a matter of a week. It took me 1 week. I was clean for a week. I was back with her. So the day I got home, I got back with her. And I hid it from her for a while after too. So you see, there was a lot of that going on. I would go to rehab. I would come home. I would hide it from her for a little bit, and she'd catch me again. So it was only, it was only a matter of time before she was going to kick me to the curb. So she did. She broke up with me, told me to get out, and she can't help me anymore. I'm not going to let you ruin my life. I got her. I don't know if I want to. All right, so I got her pregnant too. When she was in college, and talked to her mom on the phone. She called me with her mother on a three-way call, and her mother's right away is like, "I hope you know we're getting rid of this baby." I'm like, "What?" I didn't know why, and I was like, "Well, why?" And I was like, "Is that what she wants to do?" And yes, that's what she wants to do. You think she wants to be stuck with you and a baby for the rest of her life? She's going to college. She's going to make something of herself. She worked her ass off for the scholarship she got. I will not let you ruin my daughter's life. She used to love me, her mother, but she really got angry with me when I got her pregnant. And so she wound up having an abortion and lost that baby. So we still stayed together a little after that. She was really upset about it. It messed with her mentally. She didn't think it would, but it really did. And she went through a lot of really heavy depression. And I was with her through the whole thing. And then she got better and realized that I was never going to get better. And then the relationship ended. So, I'm going to rehab. I'm going to fucking all kinds of shit. I'm going to different places. I'm coming back home. I'm not really getting any days clean. I'm not doing anything good. I had an outpatient facility I went to once, and I met this other girl there. And she, we started hanging out. We were clean together for like 7 or 8 days. And then the one night, it was like the Christmas Eve party she took me to, and we had she was a hairdresser, and she hadn't been in her salon for a while because of her drug problem. So she wanted to go talk to her girls at this Christmas Eve dinner. She wanted me to go with her for moral support. But what happened was she wound up getting drunk that night. She wound up getting like pissed drunk, and basically we relapsed. She basically, the next day I met up with her. She was on parole too. She right away wanted to go get high, and she was clean because she was on parole. She would get UAs, but she didn't care. She thought she could manage the days and not get caught by the parole. But she kept getting dirty days and stuff. But she never got locked up for it. She used to shoot dope. I would watch her shoot it all the time. I wasn't shooting it at that time. I was still snorting it, but I wound up that I was doing way more than she was. And, I was selling, allegedly, selling to support my habit. And I was able to, be able to support all of our habits. But at the time that one of my connects dried up and I didn't have a car, so I wasn't able to go down to Kensington as frequently. And my money wasn't right. And I seen how high she was getting when she was sticking that needle in her arm. So she used to tell me all the time, "Oh, you get so much more higher when you shoot up. You're wasting all that dope. You could just do one bag and be like this." So I eventually gave in to that temptation, and I had her do it for me the first time. And this is like really hard to talk about because this is really embarrassing. But at the time, she didn't tell me that she had hepatitis C. And I used the same needle she did. I was having sex with her, so I thought that, I thought she was clean. So I shared that needle with her, and nothing happened of it because I didn't have any symptoms. But we kept being together, and then I wound up going to rehab and getting tested. And once I found out I tested positive for Hep C, I fucking flipped. I went livid on her. I fucking went to her house. I fucking told her that she gave me habits because I'd only used with her. Like it was really early in my needle part of my addiction, and I had only used with her, and she gave me hepatitis C, and she acted like she didn't know she had it, but then I was with one of her friends, and her friend said, "Oh yeah, she did fucking have it. She just didn't fucking tell you." And that was the same girl that kind of started getting with next. See, in my addiction, I wasn't faithful. I kind of just went from girl to girl. So I went with that girl to her friend, and went on to another run with her, and we would get high and have drug fueled sex, and that was my life. Um, and Kensington, they give out, even back then, the prevention point was there, and they were giving out needles. They weren't giving as much as they're giving now, but people could get clean needles on the street if you had a couple dollars. That's all you needed was a 10 spot and a couple dollars, and you could be high all day. The dope would last all day. And that's why it was so hard to not relapse. I could not get any time clean. And I went to rehab at least 6 times, 6 different rehab visits, going in, staying, trying to complete the program, getting out, only to fail. I couldn't understand why I couldn't stop. I couldn't understand why I couldn't stop using dope. And the real reason was because my brain was rewired from these opioids. My brain was flooding with dopamine while I was using. And when I wasn't using, it wasn't getting enough. And it was fiending for it. That's why you get sick. It's because it needs dopamine. So I talked to a couple different people that were in addiction, and they were on methadone. Back then, Suboxone was not around. Let me make that perfectly clear, because I would have tried Suboxone first if it was, but it was not around. There was only methadone, and there was only methadone clinics, and there wasn't many of them. There's been many more since the epidemic has gotten worse, but back then there wasn't many. And I had to go to the worst part of town in Trenton to get there, which is a whole other hood on the other side of my house. You got Philly going south. You got Trenton going north. I could get dope in Trenton. I could get dope in Philly, right on the corner, same way. So I basically started going to Trenton instead of Philly because I had owed a lot of people in Philly money and, fucked over a lot of different dudes. And, it was a shit show, basically. And I stopped going to Kensington because I was going to get jumped big time. I was going to get hurt out there if I kept fucking with people out there, because people die every day from fucking people over down there. It's like the murder capital right now. So basically, I went to the methadone clinic, and I gave it a try. I started off at 30 milligrams, and I didn't feel totally better, but I felt a little better. I would use while I was dosing until I got up to like a stable dose. And once I got up to a stable dose, I was okay for a while, and I wasn't doing dope. I wasn't doing opioids because that void was filled in my head. You understand? It was completely filled. I didn't have to fiend for that opioid anymore because the methadone was taking place of the opiate, and it was working in a different way. See, heroin gets you high immediately. Like you shoot up, you're high immediately, euphoric high to the like a rush, and it only lasts maybe a couple hours and it fades down. Whereas methadone, you don't get high right away when you take it. It takes a very long time, hours and hours and hours and hours to get to a desired effect in your head, and then it lasts all day long into the night and has a very, very long half-life. And that's why people can use methadone and function in life and go to jobs and work, because they're not getting high. They're just not craving the opioids. So I started taking the methadone, but that methadone doesn't stop you from doing other drugs like cocaine and benzodiazepines. And those were drugs that I abused all the time through methadone. And it was really, really hard for me to stop doing them. So I wasn't always clean through this process, and I would relapse a lot. And then basically I got caught with having a DUI, a simple assault charge, and a bunch of drug charges, and I had to go to jail. I got picked up in Trenton. I got thrown in the workhouse. Okay, and I already ripped off a couple people in Trenton getting dope, and I was stuck in the workhouse with one of them. And basically, I was in there sick because I was on methadone at that time. I was on a large dose of methadone, 120 milligrams, and I was in that jail. and I was not feeling good at all. I was extremely sick. I had no energy. Anxiety was through the roof, and I had owed this dude money that was in there, and I was stuck in the gym with him. Like that place was a bad jail. It was dirty. A lot of really bad violent acts happened in that jail. It was poor. You had to shower in the basement in the ice cold. It was like a really bad place to have to do your time. And I was in that place, and it was overcrowded, and that's why we were all stuck in the gym, and we had to sleep in these like boats, these like plastic little boats. And I knew I was going to be targeted. So there was a couple people in there that I started to vibe with, and I was cool with, especially this one dude. And this one dude had a lot of pull in there, and he had my back. So I did a couple things for him, and I would trade him a couple of my trays, and he would give me a couple of his sleeping pills at night, and I would be able to sleep. And he would watch my back while I was sleeping, for real. I would give him some phone time. I had his back. I watched out for him, like if he needed some canteen, I gave him some canteen. Um, and that dude watched out for me, and he had a couple other friends that watched out for me. But I got caught one time without him in the hallway, and that's what happened to my face. I got this big ass scar on my face. This dude tried to cut me in there, and we wound up tussling in the hallway for a while, trying to just ripped into it a little bit. It's not that bad. It's not like a lot back then. The Bloods were doing buck 50s on people where they would rip you from ear to ear, rip your lips, like a big ass scar to mark you. It was like an initiation into the gang. Nothing like that. It was probably like a 4-inch scar, 4-inch slice into my cheek. And then I went to the medical. I got patched up, and luckily I was able to get extradited out of there within a couple days. That dude got put in the hole, so he didn't come back out. And that was a bad experience, man. I could have died in there. I came out and I started doing the same thing, same shit. I had a court date I had to go to. I went to the court date. I wound up getting sentenced to like 8 months. And I was going to try to do it at a sobriety house. I was hoping that they would let me go to a sobriety house and do my time there and work and and just be watched over heavily by parole. But they didn't. They didn't. They put me in jail because they knew that I wasn't ready, I guess, to stay sober. And they figured that a lot of people abscond from those houses, which was happening at that time. People were leaving those houses all the time. They just ruined it for the people that really needed it. There's a lot of people in the criminal system that get charged things, and they'll say they're an addict to get programs, but they're not addicted people. They're actually drug dealers that are career criminals that are just trying to finagle a way to get out of jail quicker. So, that's something that they need to do a better job of, I feel like. And so basically, I wound up serving that time. And before I went in there, I went into a recovery house for 3 months. I got sober. And I got sober 3 months off methadone. Now, this is the cold turkey methadone. When I came out of Mercer County, I never went back to the methadone clinic. I was so disgusted by how the methadone was making me feel, how sick I was getting. The fact that this thing is just like that. The sickness of that was so bad that it fucking just scared me. And going back there and putting more of that shit in my body, I was like, man, I got 14. I was like, I got 20. I think it was like 20 days or something like that. I got 20 days. I should just keep going and not go back there and just put up with whatever I got to put up with. And I did that. I really did that. I didn't go back to the clinic, and I stayed sick. I started eating a lot more, but I would sweat. I wouldn't sleep, and it was hell. It sucked. And I went to I checked myself into that recovery house because I knew I was going to relapse. I just fucking knew it. Because once the methadone sickness wasn't as intense, it was still bad, but it wasn't as intense, I started to get those cravings to want to use. But listen, when the methadone sickness was like really, really bad to where I couldn't move, I was throwing up and I was on the ground, stuff like that, I didn't have any want to get high. I was so disgusted with the way I was feeling. I was like, I'm going to get through this. I'll just get through this. But then as my body started to feel better, I started to really want to fucking get high again. And I got scared, and I checked myself into a recovery house. And I went to that recovery house, and I wound up doing pretty well there. And, I thought that was going to allow me to stay out of jail, but it didn't. So I had 3 or 4 months clean when I went into jail, and I was clean in jail, and I was doing good. But then I got celled with somebody who was in the work release program. I got put over to the work release center after I had some good behavior in the regular jail. So while I was in the work release center, this guy was leaving work, going to work, and bringing in Suboxones and cigarettes like all the time. He had tons of subs, and then he was looking for a new connect. And I had a girlfriend out there that could get subs, and I was right away. I was like, "Wow, I can make." And it started off wanting to just make money. I just wanted to make money. I didn't. I wasn't even going to take the subs, but you know, eventually, I did, and I started doing Suboxone in there. So when I got out of jail, I already had a habit because I was doing Suboxone in jail. Suboxone's not as strong as methadone or other opiates, but don't get it twisted. When you're not doing anything and you take Suboxone, you're going to feel something. So I got high again, and I had another relapse. And then I met my kid's mom. Now, this is a story I'm going to accentuate because this was brought up in the community before. This is what happened when I got out of jail. Okay. I went to my friend's house. She was having a party, right? Her little sister had just graduated high school. And, you know, she was there at the party and we were all hanging out. I wound up getting really high and drunk with her, with everybody, and her sister, and we ended up having sex that night, and we started running with together. She was 18 years old, and I was 27. I think I was 26, and then I turned 27. So I met her in September, and got her pregnant, and right then and there, we were both like in the depths of our addiction when she got pregnant. I told my mother, oh my God, she was scared to death because she just knew what I was doing with my life. And my kid's mom grew up with a really supportive mom, right? But her father was nowhere in her life. He was gone. And so she had no real support there, but her mom was a real support. So my father um, and my family, we kind of like took her under as like a support for her. They would struggle a lot with bills and getting by. Her mom, she was able to manipulate her mom with the drugs to get money and things like that. And we wound up using for a while together. But then when we had Christopher, we got on methadone again. I got on meth. See, this was the second time I got on methadone. This is her first time. And we got on methadone and had Christopher. And I was a good father. I was a really good dad. I worked my ass off for him. And I had got us a place to stay. I was helping her with her mom, and we were just doing really, really good at that time. I was able to save a lot of money, and things were doing very well. And then, because of my behaviors, I would relapse, doing benzos or coke or something else, another drug besides an opiate, because you see, my addiction wasn't fixed. It was just because I was not opiate sick anymore. It was just not opiates I wasn't using. But if you don't do the work to not want to get high and settle those demons in your head, you're still gonna get high. So basically, I would relapse. We would break up. I would go get with somebody else. We would get back together. We would try to make it work again. When we did that again, we got a house together. We were renting a house together. I got her pregnant again, and basically had my second son, Anthony, and he's just a blessing, man. I love my Ant Man so much, and we got clean again, and I was doing really well for a while, and then around 2016, I had another relapse, and this was the worst relapse of all, and I started talking to another girl behind her back, which was not the right thing to do, and I broke our relationship up. That's why we broke up. We were going to try to get back together, but we weren't meant to be together. We were toxic together, me and my kid's mom, but I got so much love and respect for her now. But we went through a lot together. And 2016, I had a horrible relapse. My boys went to my parents' house. I went down in Kensington, and I was down there for almost a year and a half, something like that. Just on the streets, just going house to house, living with different women, just trying to make it get by, And my addiction got the worst then. I had the worst fucking time in my life down there. I was getting really messed up, really sick. Bad things were happening. I was seeing the most horrible things ever. I saw fucking. I saw. I saw people getting. I heard bullets. I heard people getting stabbed. I heard a woman getting raped in an alley by 15 different men. I couldn't fucking do anything about it. This is reality, people. This is reality of what happens in Kensington. Okay, you walk around there at nighttime. It's the shit you're gonna see and hear, and it's ugly, and it's where the devil lies. And I'm telling you, an addiction is a form of, it's like a demon inside you. It's like a demon inside you, and if you don't treat it, it will it will bite you in the ass. So basically, I was able to get out of that place, and I didn't think I was ever going to leave Kensington. Year and a half down there, hardcore, doing drugs, and it's hard to talk about this because it's very embarrassing. It's like really fucking embarrassing to even say that I did this in my life, but I'm just trying to maybe allow somebody to help their family more and understand what they went through. But at that time, I had done all the drugs that were down there. I mean, they had meth on the street, they had crack on the street, they had dope on the street, fentanyl. I had and then I had. All right, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and end my story. But this is what really happened. That really affected me. All right, one morning I was supposed to pick my ex-girlfriend up and take her to the methadone clinic. We went to the same methadone clinic, but she was staying with a dude down in Kensington. I was going down there anyway to get dope and shit. So she wanted me to give her a ride back, and I told her I would. And what happened was I went to a block, copped some dope, went around the corner, which I didn't even realize was right around a school, right around the corner from a school. It was like right down the street from the school. And I didn't even realize that. I was planning just to stop for a second, pop it in, and go. You understand? So I pulled over, I mixed it, and right when I put the needle in my arm and hit the plunger, right before it went all the way down, I woke up in the middle of the street with paramedics wrestling me, literally wrestling me, trying to stick me with needles of Narcan, going through my car, and I'm literally flipping out and asking why they're doing that, what's happening, what's going on. And basically I overdosed. I went right out, and I don't even know how long I was out for. My window was broken. I was right down the street from the school. I don't know if some kid saw me and called the cops. I don't know if somebody saw me and called the cops. I don't know if a cop went by or an EMT went by, because a lot of EMTs are down there. But I overdosed, and I went out, and I wrestled these paramedics, and it was horrible. It was the most scariest experience of my entire life. It was a near fatal overdose because I had to be brought into the hospital, and I had to be cathetered, and I had to be really put under some serious watch. And I woke up in the hospital, and I didn't know what was going on. I was very upset, flipping out. I knew I was going to get sick soon. And they said they needed to keep me there and monitor unless the fentanyl comes back, because the fentanyl could come back and I could re-overdose. And I told them, no, I need to leave. I need to go get my methadone dose. I was like, I didn't even go to the clinic yet. I was like, I'm going to miss it. It's going to close. I need to go. They're like, no, you can't go. I'm like, you can't hold me here. So I started to get angry. I AMA'd out of there. I signed some paperwork and left. I started to walk to my car. It was so hot that day. It was a summer day, walking in the middle of Kensington, all the way from Kensington Episcopal Hospital, all the way down to Jasper Street. So DWA knows how far that is. It's not real far, but for me, being the way I was, all disheveled and dehydrated and hot, and it was hard to walk that distance. And I finally got to my car and I started to drive. And I wasn't even going to go get dope. I was just going to go home and try to get the methadone because I was really scared after that overdose. And I started to drive and I passed out at the wheel. I literally passed out at the wheel on Allegheny Avenue, and I hit 3 different cars. My car was disabled. I was in the middle of the street. I had this lady run out of the car. She started smashing my window, flipping out at me, saying that I almost killed her and all this other shit. And then this dude came up and started yelling at me. And then they seen the hospital bracelet on my hand because I was just discharged from the hospital from the overdose. And right away she's like, "Oh, he's high. He's fucking high." And they started doing all this shit. And then all of a sudden this dude pulls over that has a tow truck, and he's like, "Yo," he's like, "You need help?" I'm like, "Yeah." And basically they hooked my car up, and I jumped in the passenger seat, and we just bounced out of there, man. We didn't wait for nobody to come. And that was fucked up to do, because later on that bit me in the ass because then people tried to sue me. Um, yeah, it is embarrassing to talk about it because that's horrible. Like I was killed somebody, and you know, that would have been horrible to have to live with that. And there's a lot of people out there that are getting high and drinking, and they're passing out at the wheel, and they're killing people, and they're murderers, and they're behind bars, and it's because of an addiction. It's real talk. So listen, after that, I tried to sell my toolbox to the guy that hooked my truck. It was a toolbox full of tools. You guys seen my toolbox at work? It's Snap-on toolbox full of dope. I'm sorry, full of tools. Tons and tons and tons of tools. I tried to sell that for dope. I tried to sell that for money to get dope. And I went to this Russian dude's body shop and I started to wheel and deal with him. And he gave me $500. He was gonna buy my box. But once he called my work, my old job where my box was, my boss called my father, and my father called him. My father went down there and he said, "There's no fucking way you're buying this fucking toolbox." It's like, "Here's your fucking money." Basically, he saved me from selling away my my livelihood. I would have had to start all over, and it would have been horrible to have to do that. So, yeah, I came home. Uh, my family's had my back ever since. I live with my mother. I live with my father. We live in a decent sized house. There's a lot of room here for us. I live here with my boys. I have my boys full time, and it's because my kid's mom didn't get sober as fast as I did, and it's just our story. But she is sober now, and she's doing so good. And she met a new guy because I wanted her to find happiness. I wanted her to find happiness, and it was somebody that I knew, and he was really nervous about everything because he was like, he thought I was gonna pop off on him because he was talking to my kid's mom. But I had ended that, so I had told him to do that, and so they have a new baby now, and she's very, very occupied with that new baby, and she has my boys on the weekends, and I have them during the week. I couldn't afford to give my kids the life that they have if I didn't have my family. If I had to do it by myself, we would be. I don't know if I would be able to do it by myself. Let me just say that. So that's my story. That's me in a nutshell. I'm sober 6 years now, but I am on methadone. I hope to one day be off methadone. I don't know if that'll ever happen. Uh, I pray to God that maybe one day I could find the strength to live without it, but that's up to me, and I guess that's up to him. So I'm gonna let Puffy start. Are you ready? You want to start with your side of the story now?
I'm like in shock on everything you just said. I was
I
like,
think I'm
"Oh,
done.
wow, adventures!" I remember my time. I was going memory lane in my head. I'm sorry.
I think
I
I
had a lot of those. I had a lot of those, so I know what you mean.
yeah, that was hard. Hard to
Like me,
do.
I didn't start in school or anything. I was like afterwards. Like I was 19 when I started, so it was
Okay.
crazy because I started because my best friend started me on it. We were at a cemetery. My grandma had just passed away. My world passed away, in other words, and it was hard. So I lost my grandma, the main pain, you know what I mean?
I
So
know
it was
that.
hard for me, you know what I mean? Because as soon as I landed on my plane, she had asked me, cried for me to come back, and she passes away as soon as I land. And that's always hurt me. That makes me feel guilty over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had that similar experience with my grandmom, and you know what? I took some of her painkillers too when she was in her sickness, and I have so much fucking guilt about that. I can't even explain it.
Yeah, and it still
So
hurts me till now that she's gone. You know what I mean? But like everybody tells me, make it seem like you'll see her soon or whatever. But it's not easy. It's been already 10 years. Like no, it's been 18 actually, because my son was 6 months and he's 18 already. So it's been 18 years, and like it was crazy. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I wasn't here in time to help her.
I
You know what I
bet.
mean?
I bet.
And it sucked because I didn't get to say goodbye or anything. She was gone. Nobody wanted to tell me. They told me like a day after. You know what I mean? So it sucked for me. My friend took me to the cemetery, and we were over there with another friend that passed away because he was overdosing, and they left him to die at his own house in front of his child. So um she's all like, here, try this and this and that, but she already had smoked the whole car in. So it's like I inhaled the meth, you know what I mean? So it's like I was tripping out because she goes, "You're so quiet." I guess it's because of that. I mean, it was the opposite of what I was. I'm usually loud, jumpy, and like I talk fast. And I was like, I'm mellow. That's like so weird. You know what I mean? To me, that was the first reaction. Like, oh shit, this shit calms me down. So I guess I won't annoy people because all my life I've been embarrassing to people because I talk fast because I'm always happy, be lucky, jumpy, and going. I'm ADHD. What can I do?
So
And
it's
it's
like kids are that.
yeah, and like it sucks because nobody understands that. Everybody thinks I'm high all the time. When I'm high at the time that I was doing, nobody knew I was high. You understand what I'm saying? And when I wasn't, they thought I was, and when I was, they didn't even know.
Yeah,
They couldn't
that's
tell
how
the
it is.
difference. So I'll be tripping out. Like nobody ever knew what I was doing. I was doing the most. I was on the streets. I always drove in the car and fucking with the bat in my car. I was doing the most. You know what I mean? And some of it, like with my second baby daddy, which is my son that's 18 and my other daughter that's 15's dad, they trip out because nobody ever noticed I was on something. You know what I mean? Like it was trippy. Nobody knew what I was doing. Nobody knew where I was at or how I got out, how I came in. Nobody even noticed when I was gone or came back. When I met my third baby daddy, it's like everybody knew my business. It was like, oh, I always kept to myself. So it was like weird for everybody to come at me and tell me, you're doing this and you're doing that. At this whole minute, I'm doing runs for others. It looked like Jack in the Box. Like you said, drive through my house because me and my friend took like times. She did it in the morning and I did it at night. So we all took turns so everybody can rest wherever. And it was a trip because we were on the low and we only had certain people. You know how when you trade it, we knew how to do it. You know what I mean? And then fucking, I was always doing the most, and people would look at me because I was always with guys. I never had girlfriends. It was rare for me to have a girlfriend, and it was funny because my mom even told me nobody at my house called me by my name. Everybody says Puffy there, is Puffy there. Everybody's Puffy. Nobody ever knew. And when we were getting older, like, your name is this? And I'm like, yeah, you didn't know. I've known you for years and I never knew your name because my parents, my brothers and sisters would call me the same thing. So nobody ever knew my name. And it was funny because when I met my third baby daddy, he gave me the worst life you could think of. Lockdown mode, lockdown windows, lockdown everything. Hold on. And then there was a fact to the point where I had the first kid. It was fine. I was using, but then I stopped because the baby daddy was using with me or whatever the hell. But he became abusive mentally, physically, in all kinds of ways. You know what I mean? The second baby I had with him wasn't product of I love you. It was a product that I was asleep, fucking I'd wake up and boom. You feel I saw some. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it was
I do.
like I love my kid. I love my kid. I'm not gonna say anything. I hate him for a lot of things, but I can't hate him because he has my kids. You understand what I'm saying? He got all
Yeah,
my family never supported me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Never supported me. So it's like, fuck, what do I do? I got no way out. You know what I mean? And it's like, who's gonna help me but myself? When they took my kids was for the reason that I was on lockdown. I had no phone. No way. I almost had my kid at my house. Okay, if it wasn't for his mom knocking and wondering why we weren't answering the phone, I would have had my kid at my house because as soon as I got to the hospital, I had my kid in the gurney. And I was trying to take my pants off because baby was coming and the nurses and everybody just left me on the gurney on the room that I don't even know where the hell I was. And
yeah.
nobody was to help me.
I
Okay.
felt like that too when I woke up like that.
And I was like, okay, so
Scary.
do I just have the kid here by myself and nobody's gonna help me? And that's what happened. I had the kid by myself. I literally took, I don't know how I did it, but I took my pants down so I could get my kid out. You know what I mean? It was
Wow.
crazy. It was crazy. Like it was like, whoa,
Wow,
never had that
Puffy.
experience. You know what I mean?
I can't believe that. It's an amazing experience.
It's a crazy one too. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
It was
it's an
scary.
insane.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That happens to people all the time. I seen a girl. She literally gave birth right on the sidewalk in Kensington.
And it's crazy to feel like it's like
Couldn't
you
believe
become a
it.
doctor in less than you've died. I was like, what the? It just happened.
The thing just came out.
Yeah,
I
like
seen
it's
it on a
crazy.
video.
And I tripped out because I was like, so what do I do now? So we were kid unknown and mother unknown, in other words, for like an hour or so. So it was crazy.
Wow.
And then I'm
Wow.
like,
Did you go
so
to the hospital? You went to the
I was
hospital
in the
after that?
hospital. I was in the hospital. I was in the gurney in a room where was separate from
Okay.
everywhere. Like they were just they just left me in the gurney. I was tripping on that shit. I was like, what the hell's going on? What am I supposed to? Is this normal? I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then after I had the kid or whatever, they tested us or whatever. I wasn't with high levels, like I wasn't because, like I said, everybody, he would smoke it and towards me. but I wouldn't. It was like a secondhand thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would laugh at me while doing it, and okay, so he said nobody's gonna ever get to with you and stuff like that. Nobody's gonna want you to da da da. All kinds of weird shit. You know what I mean? Hold on.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and,
always
and
like that.
it was crazy. It was crazy. The only way I escaped that was after I kind of figured they were gonna come after my kids because they tested my son and he was not that high either, but he was blaming me that it was me. So when they tested him, he was high on a lot of drugs, more than I can think of that I didn't even know. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
and, and I'm also it was you know that anger of a mother just comes out of like fuck. Like, I was furious, dude. Like, and I'm bipolar and I got angry. You know what I mean? So it's like I flip, like I flip. And I went to go to the WIC store to go get stuff, right? And they call me and they tell me CPS is here, right? And I'm like, for what reasons? I tested negative. What the hell? You know what I mean? Well, they were
Yeah.
trying to scare me. They said they tried to scare me. They scared me already. They took my dignity, my kids, and everything I own, like in my
Oh my.
soul. You know what I mean? And we went to court for it and stuff like that. And it was like you were trying to scare me. You fucking killed me. Like that's the fuck. What do I do now?
You know, Puffy, that's like one thing I forgot to mention in my story. I should say it because you're saying it. I got my kids taken away. I got my boy taken away from me too. Um, I got in a fight with somebody out in front of my kid's mom's house. They saw us fight. They knew that we got high in that house and she was holding the baby. They called CPS on me and her. They came to the house. They took my boy. He had to go to my parents' house, and I had to stay away from my kid until I got sober. So I know exactly what you went through. Go ahead, you can
Well,
continue.
my family didn't even support me. I'm gonna tell you like that. My
Oh, yeah.
family,
Then I don't know. Then I don't know because I had
they rip
support.
it, they ripped my kids off of me, like my arms, my legs. They were holding on to me, mama. That was the hardest day of my life.
Oh God, Puffy, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
So it was hard.
Jeez.
And then they wanted me to go to
Oh
the
my
shelter to
God.
go see them, and I couldn't because they were gonna want to come home, and I couldn't do nothing. You feel me?
Yeah, I do feel you. Like when you go see your kids when they're little, they don't understand. They don't
And then
understand.
my sister, she was always used to getting drunk, and I was taking care of her kids. She, dude, to the point where she forgot where she left one of my kids, my nephews, and like I was like, dude, you fucking kidding me? You're that drunk that you can't remember where you left them? It's like, what the fuck? But we knew because she had told us before she even got all fucked up. You know what I mean? And it was sad because she told me, "Oh, you'll get used to being without the kids." I'm all sorry to tell you, but I'm not like you. I carry my kids everywhere. Anywhere anybody saw me, I was always with my kids, and I never left one behind. You know, they were always with me. I didn't want them to go through what I went through. My mom would leave me; she didn't care. You know what I mean? All my family members are drugs, except for my dad. My dad can't handle drink; he'll cry. But besides that, like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, it was trippy because I went because everybody's like, go, go. I don't want to see them yelling at me because it's going to hurt me more. And I went, and the first thing when I had to leave, all my kids were, Mom, don't leave. It was sad, dude. It was so fucking sad.
I can't imagine what that was like. I can't imagine because like I felt that same way when I would be in rehab and my kids would come see me in rehab, or in rehab, and we would do the visits and my boy would be little and he wouldn't know why I couldn't come home with him. I remember man, I would cry right now if I started to really think about that. That shit hurts, man. It's fucking the worst pain you ever go through.
So,
Like you
yeah,
don't
and
understand
it
why
was
your
every
baby
time,
doesn't.
yeah. And every
You
time they
don't know.
left, it was the same shit. They would start crying, and I would
Oh,
start
that's
crying. So,
so fucking
and then
hard,
they
man.
were far from me. So I was like, oh my God, I can't just get up and, yeah, I'm going to go
That's
visit.
the
I
pain
couldn't.
we're talking about in addiction, man. For real, like that's the shit that brings you out of addiction because, like, you want your kids back.
Exactly. And then when it came to placement, I had a dude. I walked 14 blocks, okay, with my kids' things to go fix their grandparents' house, which is their dad's side, the one that I told you that the reason I got my kids removed. I walked with stuff to like I took the crib piece by piece, like whatever I could, and I took it on a stroller and wherever I could just to go fix their house, like to safety proof it, everything to a clear CPS to be able to have them there. Okay, so I did all that. I took their clothes. I did everything. Nobody was to help me. Okay, it was Puffy like Mighty Mouse trying to fucking get it to where it had to go just to keep their kids in the valley where I live. Okay, two of them got left to San Diego. Their dad didn't know what to do. He had just gotten out of jail, and like it was crazy. He would call me and tell me and let me hear my daughter crying, rocking, saying, "I want my mom. I want my mom, and I don't want to be here." She's never met her dad. Her brother was trying to make it seem, because I made a big old thing about the dad being a good dad or whatever, so they wouldn't think wrong. And when he came out, they were gonna be cool. You know what I mean? But the dad changed the story to the point where my kids didn't want to be there. I don't know what was going on because I wasn't there. I felt like, fuck, I can't help them and I can't run to them. I can't do this and I can't do that. They're too far. You know what I mean? And it sucks. It sucks, dude. It sucks. Because I was the only one that they would see. All my kids, I was the only one. There was only one baby daddy of mine, which is my first baby daddy. He always helped me through thick and thin. He still helps me till now. You know what I mean? We're cool best friends. You know what I mean? But that's the thing that everybody told me. My sister told me, no matter if you test positive, negative, I don't care. You're still an addict. You still use. I had my little sister tell me the only reason I say hi to you is because we're related, blood related. But if you weren't blood, I wouldn't even be here talking to you right now. Shit like that. I've heard it all, and they judge me for me using, but they're alcoholics till now. Okay, it's like, dude, no, don't come and tell me you're perfect because you ain't. You know what I mean? It's like, why judge me when you guys done some worse shit? I don't go tell the world, oh, you did. I'm not like that. Everybody knew my story before I even knew my home shit. You know what I mean? Like, my family put me through a lot. Like, they're supportive now. I don't know why. It's weird. Like, if they come, I'm like, yeah, what you want, what you need, what's going on, because I've never get that from them. It's just weird. I don't know how to explain. And when I got pregnant with my sixth child, that's what changed the whole picture. Yeah, it was with the friend of mine. Yes, he's never been in his life, but we all know we all know the backstory. We don't need to tell the backstory because we know what's up between us. You know what I mean? And we're good friends still. We still talk. He's a YouTuber too, so he's always on here, and he's cool. My son don't know him, never met him, but he knows of him, but don't. You know what I mean? And we're trying to um. Hold on, my son. Hold on. Because he's autistic, and if you don't talk to him loudly, like he don't listen.
You're okay. I'll take
No,
over for a little bit.
it's not. Hold on,
Want me
it's
to
because
take
he
over?
wants to be on. Hold on, it's because he wants to be on here. That's like when they see me on the
Aw,
computer, they want to
oh
be on the
baby.
computer. Hold on.
I miss having my babies. My kids are like 7 and freaking. Oh, look how cute they are.
He's so excited. Look at this guy. Okay, say hi. Say hi, pues. They say hi. Say hi. They saying hi to you. Look. He's shy now.
Hi.
Look. Say hi. Look. He's autistic. I got 2 autistic kids. And they're my pride and joy. I swear to God, they're smart as hell.
Yeah, both my kids have ADHD.
Yeah, well, I have ADHD.
I kind of feel like that's my fault too.
Well, I get it from my dad. So my kids get it from me. Yeah. I only have one kid that's ADD. She got it from her dad. Her dad's ADD.
It's always genetic.
Yeah. And you know what's funny though? The difference between the ADHD and the ADD, I figured this out. Like, we have to be visual and we have to do hands-on. And then they could read a lot of books. A lot of them. My daughter would read those big books. Trip out. 30 minutes later, she forgot the whole
Look how
story
busy she is.
Oh, I'm
Look how busy Puffy is. Look how busy.
But you know what I mean? Like, everybody's different.
I used to do that, Puffy, with my kids throwing me things.
My daughter used to cry and do, but she's a good artist though. She gets down. There you are. See? There you are. Say hi.
You guys wondering? Hey! You guys wondering that like why Puffy's always fast? It's because she's always doing all kinds of things.
Oh yeah, right now like I was supposed to go do the goats, but my son beat me to it. So we have goats. We got 2 goats. We got 5 dogs. We got a cat.
Oh,
we
she's
got
cute.
3 birds. I got all kinds.
She's adorable. She's adorable.
It's a he. He has nice hair. Look, it's him. His name is Matthew.
Oh, he's got long hair.
He has long as me. Like you know how my hair's long. Okay, watch. It's curly as hell. Watch this. These are my pride and joy. Without my kids, I'll be crazy. Hey, say hi. Say hi. Dude, everybody thinks he looks like Michael Jackson because he puts his hat on. Watch, I'll show you his hat. He does look like Michael Jackson. He has curly hair.
You should make him dress up as Michael for the Halloween.
And everybody's telling me that because his hair's so long and like curly. It's natural. His hair's natural.
Oh, he's adorable. How old is he? How old is he?
He's 3. He just turned 3. But yeah.
I gotta mute for 1 second.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, guys. It's because he wanted to come up. His hair's on a braid. Look at his hair so long. Look.
Are you good?
Look. His hair's so long. Look. His curls fall.
He's
Like when
cute.
you
I used to deal and like, yeah. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. Am I still here? Can you still hear me?
my
I
kids
gotta
are
fix my
like
audio. Hold up.
there you go, I
Somebody
got
called my
hit.
phone. That's why it's
Oh,
messed.
I know. I hate when that happens. You go away because my kids know when they turn like 13, 14. I let them read the papers, the ones that were involved in it. Like I let them know what happened and they know the backstory because on two of my kids, like their aunts and uncles, are trying to saying that I'm the one that caused it all and that I'm the one that caused the sorrow, whatever you call it. But you understand what I'm saying? It's just too crazy. They blame a lot of shit on me. A lot of people do when they don't really want to blame the actual person that caused all that pain between all of us. So I always promised my kids that I was gonna have them all together, and I finally did like 2 years ago, like a year ago. Yeah, a year ago. I had a picture with all of them, and now I'm gonna be a grandma, so I'm proud of that part. See? Oh, my kinder, look, all 8. They're all bigger than me. So yeah, I accomplished that because that's what they wanted. That's what I gave them. And I mean, my oldest are already 22, 18, 15. They're my main ones that were affected. The other ones were 1 and 6 months. And well, born they were removed, but then I got them all back. But then I let 2 of them stay with their grandparents because the grandpa was gonna pass away because he's already too old or whatever. So I let them. He begged me to leave him with them, and now my kids are able to come with me. But now it's the grandma, the grandma. As soon as I hope that it's not soon, but like little by little, they're coming. You know what I mean? But it hurts that they're all here except for them. You know what I mean? But they understand now because they start asking me questions of well, my oldest, which is he's 13, the other one's 12, but the 13-year-old wanted to know the behind story, but I just didn't like the fact that the dad got mad at him because I let him find out, like I let him read the papers and let him find out what was going on and what happened, and he asked me to what he thought about the whole situation with the dad getting mad. They took his PlayStation because I told them the way I left the dad was because we fought, like fist fought. And that's kind of big, you know what I mean? Double size, you know what I mean? And I broke myself away from that situation because I literally beat the crap out of him because he pissed me off. And he told me he was never going to leave unless I did the most to make myself remove myself. So I did. I beat him up. I had to. All my anger came out on him like there was no tomorrow. I felt relieved afterwards. I'm not going to lie. So my son was laughing and he asked him what happened. And he told him, my mom said she beat you up. Oh, they took his PlayStation, they grounded him, and he couldn't talk to me.
All right, I'm back.
So
Sorry.
that's another thing, yeah.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. I'm telling him the reason that
Mm.
my son got grounded after he found out what happened, the dad and everything. And they
Somebody
grounded
called
him.
me, knocked
They
me off.
took his PlayStation. They grounded him because he told them that if it was true that my mom beat you up, dad, and he got mad and took the PlayStation and everything from him. That's the weird part. I don't know. It's just weird. So, but like my life is different because they took my kids. They took part of me. Like literally, when they did, they hurt me because I couldn't talk to them. Plus, the people that had them kind of tortured me with them, my kids. And then the dad
Really?
that wasn't supposed, you know how they tell you you can't be with your kids in the same house or whatever when they remove them, right? The mom was helping the dad be in the house, kept and said that he wasn't living there when
Hey,
he was living with
I
them.
couldn't. I couldn't stay here with my kids.
Exactly, they're not supposed to be
That was
around them.
sad.
They was very sad, but he wasn't sad. You know why? Because he was with them 24/7. Because the mom was covering for him, and when the CPS came, the aunt will say that he was living with them when he wasn't.
Well, that's what
And
she
I
see.
couldn't.
That's what my kid's mom thinks the same thing you do, but it wasn't like that. I couldn't live here with my parents.
No, no, he could. He had this. He had that because the mom didn't want him to come hurt the kids or whatever. Because he was abusive. Like there's no tomorrow. Like now he
Yeah,
still is. Like okay. He gets mad at the kids. He took the PlayStation. If I take the money, I now buy him gift cards or I put my card on their game so they could get it because the dad will keep that shit from them. Like the games. He's like a big grown ass man bullying his own kids to keep his shit just to entertain himself with the PlayStation. That's what fucked me. Kid. I got pissed and I want to tell him off. I'm like, if I buy the kids something, it's for the kids, not for y'all to come get them and take it from. You're a grown ass man, get a job and get up your ass. You know what I mean? It's like you're too old to be on the PlayStation. Get the fuck off the PlayStation. Get a job. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because my kids will call me and tell me my dad took it. My dad did. Oh, dude, they tell me my dad took it. I go on the. I don't live. I live like 15 minutes from them, so I just get in my car and I go tell him what the fuck's wrong with you. Or I'll get on the phone and I tell the grandma, if you don't fix it, I'm gonna go fix it, and he's not gonna like how I'm gonna fix it. He's afraid of me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
So, how many is that? That's the kid's father for which kids? Like you have 8 kids, right?
For my yeah, for this is for my my fourth and my fifth kid. The one that I
Okay.
told you that's the reason they took my kids. And after when they took my kids,
Okay.
I fell into a deeper kind of shit. But I never used like I wasn't that type of addict that I needed. No, I felt sometimes that I needed to get up to make me motivate myself to go do stuff because I was so depressed I didn't want to do
Yeah.
nothing. Like I felt like I needed it to be active, like after like being doing stuff because I wouldn't get up. Why? Because I felt like I was dying slowly. My depression
Yeah, I
was
feel the
mainly
same
my
way. You use
anxiety,
drugs
you
to
know what I mean?
cope. Use
Yeah,
drugs to
and
cope.
everybody's all like, you don't need it to wake up and do stuff and this and that. And I got adopted, but a lot of people in the streets, which are gone now, and that's made my life a little bit harder. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
lost
bet.
a lot of my friends through drugs
I
addictions
bet.
and for all kinds of stuff. And it's sad because like I lost my
I
whole
lost a
crew,
girlfriend.
and then my kids became suicidal, so that made
Me
me
too.
more. My kids, literally, my older daughter was expressing herself through music like depressing music that I caught on to later. You know what I mean? She was cutting herself. Her ex called me. Her friends were calling me because she was coming down here, and they knew that dad wasn't gonna notice, so they called me. I don't know how they got my number, but they called me and they told me check please, and she's cutting herself, and I was like, whoa, that like another hit. You know what I mean? So I caught on to that one, and when I got her, I told her why, because you're not in my life. She told me, so it was hard. That's for my oldest. You know what I mean? I missed a lot of things, but it wasn't my fault. She was too far. Dude, I walked her through high school
I
through the
get
ninth
it.
grade. It was funny, dude, because she was so
I
excited.
understand that.
It was excitement when I walked her through high school. You know what I mean? But I had to wait through high school for her to be excited. It was like a little kid coming out of her. It was funny because she was laughing. She goes, "Mom, you're actually walking with me." You know what I mean? I didn't go to her
I can't imagine
graduation,
what I do
so
if my kid
I
did
was like
that.
that. Right now, she's having a kid. I haven't seen her pregnant because she's too far. She's like fucking 12 hours from me. So she's having a baby shower.
You
She wants
talk
me
to
to go, and I'm like,
go. You gonna go? You gonna
well,
go?
I told my mom I think it's better because I even talked to my daughter. It's better if I go when you have the baby. I stay for a whole week and I see both. I don't have to figure out how I'm
That's a
gonna
good
go.
idea.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like,
a really good idea. That way you could go and that
and
yeah
I get to
yeah.
see both of them. You know what I mean? But and it's funny because in before she got pregnant, she's a daddy's girl, like every girl is, every daddy's girl, whatever. Now she's pregnant, she's a mom's girl. So to me, it was weird. I'm like, oh, she flipped it on me real fast and quick. You know what I mean? Her name is
That's good
Beyonce.
though.
I had her at 16. Her name is Beyonce. They dare me. You would name her
Beyonce.
Beyonce. Her name is Beyonce. She's like, Mom, they asked me if I'm black. I'm like, no, you're not black. You're Mexican to the fullest. And then
Appreciate you,
she's
bud.
Chinese. She looks Chinese because her eyes are really slanted. She don't look nothing like me. She looks like her dad. And then we laugh because they're like she got the mom's attitude. Every kid of yours, they just talk and show their attitude. They're yours, dude. They're yours. They don't shut up. They're just we all know they're yours. I'm always start like, okay, they don't look like me. They don't shut up their mind. Okay. And I mean, and I got a mini puffy, but she's always arguing. Everybody
A
has
mini puffy.
yes. She's 15.
Mini
My
puffy.
mom goes all like, my mom goes, hey, this one's the
15?
one you're gonna pay with. She goes, this one right here.
Oh man, you got teenage girls, man. That's
Hey,
like.
thank God I only got three girls, though. The boys are easier. I'm not gonna lie. Boys are easier. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I
I'm
had
sure they
some
are. I'm
adventures. I had
sure
some
they are.
adventures with my kids. I've done it all. I've gone far. Like my daughter was getting bullied, the 22-year-old. Dude, I got on a bus. It broke down three fucking times, but I made it to where she was at, dude, because she was getting bullied. All she needed to do is see me, because I walked from her apartment, like fucking, what was it, like 8 blocks? I didn't even know where the fucking school was. I was on a mission. And I walked to the school, and then they told me they're behind houses. I'm like, I'm not fucking the school's behind houses. Bakersfield's a whole different world, girl. Like, I get lost. I got lost 3 times from one corner to another because it was so weird. And I fucking started laughing because she saw me and her my mom's here, and she stood up for herself. After that, she was good. But it was funny because I'm like, it took me to fucking get over here 6 hours later and driving a fucking broken bus, and they wanted to put me through TJ, and I was like, I didn't come through TJ. I went through this way. You know what I mean? I went on hell mode and back. I swear to God, it was a trip. And I'm not used to the cold weather. I'm used to the hot. So when I went over there, I had 2 blankets on. I had 2 sweaters on. I had all kinds of shit. I looked like an Eskimo trying to get off the bus because it was fucking cold. You know what I mean? My daughter's like, you made it. I made it to see if you're going to man up for yourself and show who you are, not just, oh, I'm scared of the world. You ain't going to be scared of the world in my books. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
she did it, and she became the bully to the people that were getting, bullied
They
to.
were bullying her.
Yeah. And it was funny because all kinds of kids that were scared of the same person came after, like she was the defender and co-host of the whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, see, it made you popular. I don't know why, but it made you popular though.
I bet it did. I
It
bet it
did.
did.
And then my son, when he got bullied, I went to the school, and the little kids were like, I wanted to slap them. I'm not gonna lie, man. I wanted to slap the hell out of them. They're like, what are you gonna do about it? I don't know. Go ask your mama what I can do about it. And he called his mom on me. He called his mom on me. I was like, oh hell no, he didn't. He goes, hold on, let me ask her. And he calls her. And I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, it
I
was.
think if bullying was handled that way, it would be better. Like instead, they have these like go through the school things. Like no, I
I
think if the
had to put a
parents
camera
went
on
to
my
each
kid.
other, it would solve it like that. You know.
I have cameras and stuff like that because I was worried on my kids. I put cameras. I could see everything my kids are doing without them noticing. And one time I scared the shit out of them. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, hey, why are you bullying my kid? Who said that? They're like, who said that through the phone? Because it was a two-way thing. And then the teachers are like, who's talking? I know you ain't paying attention. You're watching. They're recording them. They're on Snapchat right now. And the song behind the thing, because he didn't go to the field trip, is "You're So Lonely. I got nobody. How can you see?" Like, you know what I mean? I was like, what is going on? Are you guys paying attention to the kids? What the fuck? My son's been put in trash cans. One time we showed him how to wrestle, right? We told him to show how to choke block somebody until the teacher got there. He called me all excited. Mom, I thought something happened, dude. I was fucking shitting bricks. I'm like, what happened? But he was crying of excitement because he actually stopped a bullying from bullying him because of a chokehold we taught. And he was all
Really?
excited. He was 13, now he's 18. But now you see him, he's all muscular and all that shit. But it's funny because kids feel protected if you let them be. Like, the only rule I have in my house is be yourself and treat me as you want to be treated. Don't come at me. And the word stupid is not allowed in my house. You say stupid, it's like I'm gonna come out the room real quick. I hear that shit like echo me. You know what I mean? And stuff like that, they won't. And if they say bad words, they gotta pay 10 cents each letter. They say how much big the word is. Yeah, it is what it is. And then they see me mad, they run. Because one time when I had my son, he was like 6 and he was testing me. You ain't gonna do nothing, you get a towel, you go in circles, they think they're gonna get scared. Oh no, he's like, what you gonna do? And I'm like, don't make me hit you. I'm a good aimer on that one. I play darts, I'm very good at it. And he's all like, oh, you ain't gonna hit me. And I went, phew, and hit him right here. And every time he sees me with the towel, he goes, Mom, I didn't do nothing. I swear to God, it wasn't me. I'm going away. You're gonna hit me, and I know how that feels. And I start laughing. And I'm, oh, you learn. It's been a couple. And then he tells my daughter, if you see Mom, Matt, run outside, make like you're gonna go do something. You know what I mean? And it's hard because like the ones that are not here are 3 of them. My 13-year-old, my 12-year-old, and my 2 year and my 22, right? So when they come, it's like everybody wants their attention. And then
You have all the other kids but
I have
them?
everybody else. Yeah, my oldest, but
So
she's
you
in
have
college.
5 kids there?
Yeah, yeah. And my oldest, well, she's in college. I'm only missing my
Oh yeah, you
my
said
my
22. She's
13, yeah,
22, right?
my 13 and my 12-year-old. My son, my 13-year-old wants to come already, so he wants to come over here. So we told him, yeah, it's fine. But the grandma is like, they're attached. She's really attached to him. The grandpa passed away. It was very hard for my oldest because he was attached to the grandpa. The grandpa passed away. He said the last thing he remembers is that he put his hand against the wall. The grandpa was on the other side of the wall, and he felt him passing. And I cried because it's sad to see them sad. It hurt him a lot. Like it was really sad for me to see my son break down for his grandpa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my son, the other one's gonna get hurt when the grandma passes away because he's really attached to his grandma. Like he talks, does everything like her. It's funny. I'm like, oh, look at the mini twin. It's funny because, but he looks like my great grandpa. He's like the next generation of us. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same face, everything, expressions, everything. I didn't even realize until my dad told me, "Whoa, my grandpa's born." I was like, "What the?" And then he showed us pictures. We're like, "God damn, that's a twin right there!" Like replica and shit. Everything's the same. And
Let me ask you a question, right?
yes, talk.
You live out in you're from California in Los
Yes.
Angeles, right?
Mhm.
So, um, the type of drugs that you did, I'm just
Right here,
curious, like
meth is
what
really
was
popular here.
out there.
Meth is really popular here.
Meth.
That's the
Is that
most
what your issue was
popular.
with? Was it with meth or was it with like opiates?
No, right here is meth. Meth is the right now meth and right well now the fentanyl right here is getting mixed like a lot. You
Did you
see a
ever
lot.
go through opiate addiction?
No,
Oh, so it was all like stimulants, coke, like meth and shit.
yeah, and it was tricky
Okay,
because I've tried things, but I've never got stuck
I was
like I did
curious.
with the meth. You know what I mean? Like I've tried coke, I
Yeah.
tried all that, but I never wanted to do it again. It's like okay, I tried just for them to leave me alone, and that was it. You know what I mean? I don't drink. I
So
don't do
many
none
of
of
the
that.
people I met on here have meth issues. Um, there's another girl, another woman. She has a
But
channel
see,
called Misunderstood.
everybody,
Meth
everybody,
issues. Yeah.
everybody trips because I wasn't like, oh my god, I need to have it. Oh, I gotta go get a 20 every 5 minutes. No, I was like a dime a whole week. It will last me a whole week, and everybody's like, how the fuck do you do that? I'm not, cause I don't need it unless I feel like I have to go do it. I guess you could say. I wasn't like, oh, I gotta be able. I couldn't. I wasn't like that. People trip out because I
But you
wasn't
would
like that.
stay up when you did it, right? And
Yeah, but
hallucinate?
if yeah, no, I would never listen. I never heard voices. I know that's why I trip out when I see people all out.
I
Like,
did.
oh
When I
no,
did meth,
I
I did.
didn't.
I hallucinated. I stayed up all
Oh
night, walked around the trailer park, and
no, I got
literally
stuck
thought I
drawing. I
saw
was
like
drawing and drawing. That's
ghosts
all I
and
did.
shit.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't even hear.
I
You know how
was
they say,
wigged
oh, I hear
out.
people calling my name, or I will feel somebody
That
being
shit's.
watching
I
me
don't like
sometimes.
meth.
If I were to
I
go
don't
to
like
the store,
meth.
I felt like people were looking at me funny. That's the only thing I have.
Yeah,
I can't get the fact that
I don't like meth. I don't like meth.
I would get paranoid when people were looking at me. Like, what are you thinking about me? You know what I mean? Like, my head would start thinking shit, but I wouldn't hear no. I would think people were looking, talking, and all kinds of stuff about me, but I never thought, oh, they're gonna follow me, nothing like that. I mean, I was never paranoid in pursuit, we call it.
Yeah, but that happens with meth.
Like I said, I wasn't that addicted to. Oh, I need to have it every fucking 5 minutes. Oh, I couldn't. No, I wasn't like that. That's
Okay.
why everybody would trip out on that shit. Like I tell you, a dime would last me a whole week, and everybody be like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? But I would only do it when my depression kicked in. You know what I mean?
All right. So it's
You
like a
understand?
mental illness coping
Yeah,
mechanism.
it was like my medication, you could say, so I could calm down and stop being all like everybody would tell me, "Stop! You're annoying as fuck because you're talking too fast and blah blah blah." You know what I mean? So to me, that was like my way of everybody trying to like for me to fit in. But then I said, "Fuck it, I ain't never gonna fit in." You know what I mean? So then it became just like for me to mellow down. It's like me smoking weed. It's like I have to smoke a certain weed, or also if you give me say I do what's it indica, if I do indica, oh dude, I'll go wild. I'll be like I'm a mess on because I'm hyped. It gives me more power on. I don't know why it does that. I've never understood that. So I don't smoke weed that is indica.
Indica.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
make me go on and
Well,
lose
you're
sleep and
ADHD,
all
so
that.
that probably has the opposite effect, you know?
Stop,
Oh
what are
my
you
god, look at
doing?
your kid. She's trying to do cartwheels. He's trying to do cartwheels.
I'm
What's up,
laughing because
Larry?
I'm telling you, they just see me on the computer and it's like I gotta get the attention. No, they see me on the phone, they don't care. It's a trip. I feel like switching now. See what I mean? But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't that like, oh, I gotta do it every time, or I got. Yeah, we'll make fun of it because they're like, oh, do the cloud and see if you can see the face. I'm like, what? I've seen it. Oh, they've done
Larry.
double. They've done all kinds of stuff.
He put Sinatra instead of Sinaloa. The
I
chat's cracking me up.
wasn't.
I'm
And then I
sorry.
had friends telling me, "Do you see demons?" I'm like, "What?" It started making me think like, "Do I really want to do this? Am I gonna go through that? Am I gonna see the demons they say they see?" And this, like, they will smoke and tell me, "Do you see the smoke? Do you see any demons?" I was like, "I see a big ass cloud. That's all I know I'm seeing, but I don't know what you're talking about."
Have you ever been in rehab?
No, because I wasn't that bad. That's what tripped everybody out. That yeah, I was, but I wasn't that bad. Like I wasn't high levels. Like, oh my god, I gotta get, I need help. And I could control it. I could stay sober for 2 years straight and then continue again and then stop again.
Yeah, we're way different then.
Like
We're way.
like
I
like I
couldn't.
tell
Yeah.
everybody, mind over powers, and they're like, "Why do you say mind over powers?" Because it's up to you how much you want to do and how much you want to stop. Because I could do it easily, and they're like, "How do you do it? I don't know how can somebody do it." And you're like, "What the?" But that's what I'm telling you. I could buy a 20 and that shit would last me 2 weeks, and everybody tripping out like, "What the hell's wrong with her? Like, why?" They're like, I would do that shit. I would finish in a sitting, and I'm like, "That's you." I don't know what to tell you. Everything will last me a while, and everybody trip out. Or I would get free stuff. I never had to buy it. Most likely, I never had to buy it. But because with girls, it's different. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's different. Like they start giving
So
girls more stuff.
you're good now though, right? Like so
Yeah,
you
like I'm
haven't
telling
used in a
you.
while and you
Yeah,
have your
the same.
kids and
Yeah,
you're
I have the same.
talk about okay, so you talked about a lot of the bad things in this thing, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about how your life is better now?
When I go to school, I'm a for like I'm a very good student. I got A's, a lot of A's, and I didn't even know I could do that. In high school I was straight F's. You know what I mean? And they graduated me because they don't want me there no more. You know what I mean? Like it was funny, but at least I graduated though. And after that I was good. I was like nothing bad going on. But then my life started changing because I never thought I could fit anywhere. But then I said, fuck it. And I'm now in school. Now I'm doing good. And nothing's going to change that until I'm done. It's the first time in my life that I really like think it's possible, I guess you could say. And my kids are enjoying it because they say they want me to keep going. One time I said I was gonna quit school because I was overwhelmed, and they're like, "No, you're doing good. Look at us." And my daughter, she's gonna graduate already too. I think I'm gonna end up graduating with her at the same time. We're doing the same thing, arts and design and all that. She's gonna be an art teacher though. That's the only difference. And everybody at the college have told me, the teachers, that I should be an art teacher to help out kids because there's a purpose in my spirit or something. They said to do art for kids, and I, because I'm very good with kids. I have a lot of kids that I've adopted during the time. I've helped a lot of kids from suicide. I know that
You sound
because
great with kids.
well, I'm a big kid myself. You know what I mean? But like if I could do that, dude, I would go to the apartments and like go outside and be, let's draw. So we did drawings. I taught a lot of kids how to draw. I made them feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like they actually felt somebody had their attention for once. I play tag with my kids. I don't care. And I do whatever I can to help them. So it's like I try. But sometimes it's like some kids have special needs. I used to love being a special needs helper, like an aide at school, because nobody understands people with special needs, even if their parents say they do, they don't, because they don't. The kids always try to fit in because everybody makes fun of them. I hate it that the kids would get made fun of for their mental issues, or because they just wanted to be bullies, I guess, because they weren't happy in their own home. I broke three bullies when they were little. Like I broke three bullies from being bullies
Hey
to the home.
Chiffon, what's up? Thanks for coming, Chiffon.
So it's not that easy to see them suffer. A lot of kids with mental health, it's hard because they can't express themselves. Some can't even speak, and it's hard to see them suffer. Like I don't know how to explain that. And some kids that have been like hurt by the parents not coming back after addiction, because they say they rather pick. I've heard moms and dads say to their own kids, "I'd rather be in the streets than be with you guys because I know you guys are doing good." Good as in, oh, I know who's gonna take care of you. It ain't gonna be me. It's gonna be like your grandparents or whoever takes over them. You know what I mean? And it's sad. It's sad. They pick drugs over kids, and it's like they don't know the issues that can cause the kid to be like very dramatically scarred into their lives. I'm gonna tell you that. I know my kids suffer from that. That if they get detached from me, like that's a big depression. You'll never cure again if they separate from me. So they see CPS and stuff like that. They get into this PTSD mode that they isolate, and it's sad because it's affecting them because they will fucking like isolate, and you can see it. They won't talk to them. They get like me. I don't talk. I don't do. I don't. My challenge that changed me was my sixth child. He's autistic. He's also autistic. He's the one that changed me because I had asked God at a church because my mom's like, "What do you? If you were to ask God something, what would you ask?" And I said, if I'm a good mom because I feel like I'm not because they're all gone." So yeah.
Hey, Puffy, let me ask
Oh,
you something.
yes.
Do you believe in God?
In my own way, yes.
Because I needed God. Okay, let me just jump in just for a second. And I'll let you continue. But in my addiction during that last time I told you guys I was in Kensington for that year and a half and I was on the streets. I went through 2 summers and 1 winter. That was hell for me. And I really did think that I went too far with the drugs and that my mind was too polluted and rewired
Yeah, you
and that
feel
I
lost.
had no more emotion, that there was no way back to my children, and I kept having these vivid
That's how I
memories of
felt
my
when I asked.
kids.
Yeah, when I asked, that's how I felt. I felt like I lost myself with everything. They're like I didn't know
But
my
I
way
had a
back.
spiritual awakening, and I had a spiritual awakening. I felt like God came into my spirit, told me that I was worth living, told me that my family and my boys really did love me and want me and need me. And I
Yeah,
made that I went into a payphone right on Kensington and Allegheny, and I called my father. I had no cell phone, Of course, you don't have anything when you're down. I called my father, and he came and picked me up, and I tried to manipulate him into getting me drugs before I went home because I didn't want to be sick. But he was so fed up with my shit that he just drove me home, and I stayed sick that night. I went to rehab the next day, and I had some relapses out of rehab, but eventually I did stop. July 18th, 2018, I had stopped.
hey,
So,
it's the same date I did. That's crazy.
nah, are you
I'm
kidding me?
serious. Yeah, because we had moved from the place where I was at the apartments, and it was in July.
July
I swear to,
18th?
yeah, I swear to God, I put this shit down. I'm tripping out on this shit. That's crazy.
I think that might be Hebrew's sober date too, if I'm not
I have no
mistaken. Oh no,
idea.
I know he had 6 years, but I don't know if it's the same date.
I guess yeah, but it's trippy because it's in July and it's
You have six
yeah,
years too?
yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. That's just
No,
a trip.
are you fucking kidding me?
You could
That's
check
that's
my
not
keys.
possible. You
You could
said you
check
got
my check.
you got sober on the same day I did.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I just told. They asked me how long have I been sober, and I put right there. I was
Wow.
tripping that shit as I'm tripping.
What are the odds of that shit?
Yeah, that's just a trip. I'm tripping out, and dude, I even have that date because that's the time I moved out of my apartments to where I live now, and then I had signed the kids up for school because they started in August. Yeah, it's trippy. That's just trippy. I'm tripping out of it.
Hey,
It's a trip.
Miss Dang, I didn't get any requests from you. I looked for it. I'll have to put your ID back down there. I'll look for it again.
Oh
I didn't
shit,
get a request though, or a
I'm still tripping
message or
on it.
anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
tell
a
you.
wild coincidence. I mean,
It's
we
crazy
got the
because
same sober date. So
yeah,
listen, we
like I'm
gotta
gonna tell
rock with
you.
each other now. We
Yeah,
gotta
hey,
keep that date alive and not make that date
wish.
change.
Tashandra had asked me how
We could
long have you had it.
celebrate
I
our
said,
anniversaries together and
yeah,
have
that's
streams and
crazy.
shit.
That is
That would
crazy.
be dope.
Hey, now I know everything can be happening with similarities. It's crazy shit.
That's pretty wild.
Yep. And it's funny because we kind of went through the same thing, like child stuff and stuff like that,
Okay,
like the
Miss Dang, I
children.
got you.
So it's just too crazy. I can't believe that shit. That's just
Yeah,
crazy. We kind
it's
of did
wild.
similarities, but your drugs were different than mine. That's the only kind of difference. But
Yeah, we have different stories. That's definite. Much different stories. We're from
like I
different
tell
parts of the
everybody,
country.
yeah, I tell
Yeah.
everybody has a behind story, and nobody wants to hear it. If you see somebody down, ask what's wrong with them or something. You never know. The person needs to talk to somebody, but they're too afraid to for the judgment they got. I've helped a lot of people. Well, one of my closest friends, I still talk to his uncle. We still live in his memory. He wanted to be a wrestler with his uncle. His uncle now owns a wrestling thing for the locals and stuff like that. And we laugh because we remember good things. And he used to laugh like SpongeBob. I'm not gonna lie. I call him my Peter Pan. Um, I never met him in real life, and the day I was gonna meet him, he passed away. we talked through Facebook all the time, and we were very good friends. You know what I mean? And we were gonna do the sober stuff together. And I had gotten him to go to rehab, and he was in it. Somebody got him out. He was addicted to heroin. Somebody got him out, which is his ex girlfriend. His ex girlfriend left them to overdose at the park, and just left them and walked away. And that pisses me off to this day. I swear to God, if I see that girl, I'll kick her ass. And I told her off on Facebook. I swear to God. The mom and everybody never knew his passwords and stuff like that, but everything he would tell me would make sense, and I let them into their account without knowing, because I and the mom was
Let
excited
me
about it.
let me just talk to this guy real quick.
Okay.
Mr. Troll, man, I know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? I was in that same neighborhood, so we relate on a lot of different stories. Yeah, I felt that same way. You know, I felt like I went too far. I felt like that there wasn't a way back. I really did feel like I was better off just down there, away from my family, away from my kids, because of the amount of times that I hurt my family. I broke my mother's heart so many times. I made my mother physically ill to where she couldn't even like function. She would throw up because she was so anxious and nervous about me, and she wouldn't be able to sleep at night. My father would drive around those neighborhoods looking for me, all through those blocks, getting hit on by prostitutes left and right, literally looking for me. He one time pulled up, and I was in handcuffs on the side of the fucking wall on the block because I got caught up in his thing. Like, I had broken my family's heart so many different times. So I really know that feeling, because I really felt like they were better off without me. But I felt like God came in my life and told me I was worth living, and I
At
came
least your
back.
family were looking for you. Mine was actually trying to get me caught up, telling me that they
Well,
should
that's
test
one
me
thing,
and
Puffy.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
come from I have
My
really
family's weird.
loving, good, supportive parents. I'm never gonna sugarcoat that. I come from a
You
really
know what's the trippy
loving,
part?
solid
Out
family.
of all
So
four of us, they
I was
don't.
very
I'm the black
lucky,
sheep.
very
I'm the
lucky.
black sheep of all four of them. They've told
I
me
feel
like
like
all
I'm the
my
black sheep of this family. Don't get it
my
twisted. My
mom, I
sister is
saw
way
her.
more better than
You
me.
know what she told me? The only reason I don't tell you I
But
love you and go looking for you is because I know you're the strongest of the pack and you can survive on your own. And I was like, what does that got to do with that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's like, did you really just tell me that? It's like, you don't tell me I love you because I'm the stronger of the pack. I never got that part. I never got that part. It's crazy. What are you watching?
man, I'm so proud of you, Puffy, for coming up here and
So
talking like this.
I've always been alone in my life. So I'm gonna tell you that we've been through poverty and all that, like to the point where I used to live in a plywood. Like, well, I used to live in Mexico, Mexicali, in Mexico.
Okay, yeah,
And
talk about that. Talk about
and,
your
and,
childhood and where you
and
grew
look,
up.
I'm gonna tell you how I grew up. Okay, we lived in a plywood house, like it was four walls plywood. There was a dirt floor, and fucking we hardly had anything to eat. They used wood to fucking make fire outside. All we could eat it was sometimes. My dad used to work at McDonald's. We would wait for my dad to get home through the whole day, okay, and wait till my dad got home and fucking just ate McDonald's. And then my dad worked at
Yeah.
Domino's. We ate McDonald's pizza when he got home. And you know what our toys was? We were poor. We had to wait for hand me downs. Like Christmas, we were excited. So we didn't care where it came from. While we got there, we got something. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. Like we were always so poor. We used our dogs as horses. We made our own toys. Now you tell a kid go make your own toy, they ain't gonna make one. We used to use rocks as marbles, things like that. You know what I mean? And we were always like cool with it. We were happy. That's why I taught my kids, don't expect the biggest gift at life when you can share life with. Like me, I teach them how to draw, and they didn't care if they were going to the 99 cent store. They got a coloring book. They were wow. You know what I mean? Some kids nowadays they want the biggest, you know, and the most because everybody else has it. My kids, they don't care if they have it or not, or if how long it takes me to get them for them, but at least they get it, even if it's not the same thing or whatever, but it's similar. They don't care as long as they get some. You know what I mean? And my kids are more of a okay, whatever you can give me, I'm good with it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Let
my son felt proud to get his own car and how to pay for it. He learned how to do all that, and he's proud of it. You know what I mean? Like that he learned. Like me, I had to
let
teach
me
myself a lot of things. So
let
yeah.
me say something real quick. Lori Rose, and I want to say thank you to Lori Rose and Chiffon for the cash apps. We got two cash apps, and I'm gonna send half of it to you. So just make sure you give me your cash app for the end of the stream. All right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you guys. I guess I don't know. You caught me off guard.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lori
Thank
and
you
Chiffon. You
guys.
guys are awesome. Yeah, it
And
takes a
then
lot to talk about this stuff. It's embarrassing, guys. Like, look, I'm
yeah, like people used to make fun of us
really
and call
embarrassed.
us. They used to call us all kinds of names because we were always like not well dressed or whatever. We would last at our apartments like not even 6 months, and we knew we had to go back to my dad's mom's house, and it was hell. They would fight. Dude, one time we got into the door, they were fighting for a hot dog. Okay, that's like what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it was
like
crazy.
it's tough. That's
And,
tough. I mean,
and
I live differently, so I can't
And
imagine,
then
but
my
like,
mom was an alcoholic. If we didn't know our ABC, she'll slap this until we said the whole alphabet in a sitting. You know what I mean? It's like, and we knew my mom was mad. We knew we had to tuck and roll because she starts throwing shit. I saw my sister, and my mom fight for no goddamn reason just because they were mad, and I was the middle person. So I've been through hell and back, and it's rough because some people.
oh, okay,
I
Lori.
know you've seen some people that go, hey, my mom, and this and that. They're cool with us, da, da, da. But in reality, they're not. Like they'll front a life that they weren't. Like my sister used to have all kinds of jewelry or whatever, but she was going through hell. She had miscarriages, and then she made it seem like she was living life and all this, but she was dying inside. You know what I mean?
Oh, how
Like
many brothers and sisters?
I got my brother came back from the war, all fucked up too. I have a brother and I have two sisters. My little sister I
What
helped raise
what war? What war?
the one Iraq war, the
Gulf,
Iraqi.
the Gulf one in '90s.
Yeah, the one, yeah, the one that they Saddam Hussein and I don't know they were trying to take over
Yeah,
before.
the first the Gulf War when Saddam
Yeah,
Hussein invaded Kuwait. Yeah, back
yeah,
then in the
he
'90s.
was
That was the
there.
Gulf War with his
Yeah,
father.
we were panicking because one time they black cars just came like, and you know how the army comes in black cars and things,
Yeah.
and
Oh
mama
yeah.
was getting bricks, you
Shout
know,
out to
like
your
what
brother for
happened,
being a
what.
soldier.
My brother hasn't been the same when he got out. When he came back, it was
Oh.
crazy. He wouldn't get out of his room. He wasn't talking to nobody. He wasn't even like that. He was like me, like talkative, you know. Even like, but when he came back, he started drinking heavily, like heavily. Till now, we know when it's time for the time when the anniversary shit starts, because he won't come out. He won't come out. He won't speak to nobody, and nobody understands him.
Does
Like
he
we
see a
do.
psychiatrist for that? That's
I have no
that's
idea.
post
Yeah,
traumatic stress disorder,
yeah.
man.
But the thing that fucked him up is that one time that he said all the platoon that graduated with him. This is what my mom told us because he never talks about it. The platoon that graduated with him, all his friends, they were driving because they were going to move to another part of the thing, and they stepped on mines with the cars, and the only one that survived was him. He broke his leg, and a picture of his daughter was landed on his chest.
Congratulations, Lucky Loco.
You know what I mean?
Congratulations, bro.
And it was sad because he said he saw his life before his, you know what I mean? And he said the only thing he was asking God is to see his daughter one more time. And when he woke up, he had a broken leg and he had the picture of his daughter, and he saw his friends pass. And what he did, he got the letters that the friends gave to tell him where the pocket letter was at, so he gave out and stuff like that. But he wasn't the same. He's not the same till now. He's not the same. He feels like he's gone at this time. And like right now, there's anniversary mode, and my kids are like, yeah, everybody's saying my uncle's not good right now, and that's how I know the anniversary is here because he starts isolating and won't speak and he's not here. In other words, he's mentally, physically gone. Like he be
Hmm.
MIA.
So
It's like
sorry for that.
it
That's
sucks,
tough, man.
and it's crazy, dude. It's
Sad.
crazy. Because he says he remembers everything. And then I had a friend that passed away at the war because he said, I will never shoot a child. Because over there, I guess they train their kids. My brother was telling me they train their kids to shoot. So they could come at you all friendly and they could shoot you. And it's sad because my friend always had said, if I go to war, I will never shoot a child. He killed himself. He put
Did
the
he
gun
ever
in his
wake
mouth.
up like choking some? Like my grandfather would. He was in World War II. He would wake up choking my nana sometimes in bed.
No, he would wake up. My brother would wake up screaming, like if he's seen
Yeah,
something.
screaming and then like
Yeah,
thinking he was being attacked, and he would like
yes.
attack my
And
nana.
all you would hear would be like, leave me
It's
alone, please. I'm
crazy.
not here to hurt you. Leave me alone. That's all we would hear. And he would scream.
Dude, it's freaking nuts. My nana used to tell me stories. My nana had to live with, like that. That's another thing I'm gonna say. Like my family, we've lived multi-generational my whole life. Growing up, I lived with my great grandmom and my mother's mother. We all and my uncle. We were all in the
One
same
time my
house
mom
in
had to
Delaware
slap him
County.
to wake him up because
So,
he was saying one life for another. It's not how I want to die and this and that. Because he was saying one
oh
life.
wow.
You know how they get you like hostage or whatever. They'll tell you I'll take yours if you don't take mine or whatever to whatever.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's what we heard
crazy.
him saying. And we're like, who's he talking to? He was asleep when he was saying this. And my mom slapped the shit out of him. He goes, I'm sorry, my son, but I got to wake your ass up. And he woke up like
Yeah, it's
ready to
crazy.
box. It was crazy. We're like, my mom's like, I've never seen him this like.
But that's what happened to my grandfather. But after he came back from the war, he turned into a horrible alcoholic. And sometimes when he drank, he got violent. And my nana, she lived with me my whole life until she died when I
You
was in
don't
my
have to be
like early
afraid of them
20s.
or help
So
them. You don't have to be
that was
afraid of
hard
them
for
and
him.
help. Yeah. It's sad though because dude, one time they went into a club. They went clubbing, right, and somebody came in and got like started shooting. So my brother snapped into PTSD mode. So
Dang.
whoever was with him, they thought he was gonna come and try to take the gun away from who he was shooting because he wanted to like he started. You know how you play that Call of Duty or whatever. You know how they go like in little you go one left and then right and try to see if nobody's coming to go towards the target. That's how he was doing it. Like he was walking like sitting down mode trying to get to the target. That's what they told us. Like he snapped into he was at war status. So they didn't want to go clubbing anymore in case something else happens. He was actually gonna go after the target. You know what I mean? It was crazy. They were paranoid that he was gonna get hurt. But it's I don't know. I guess they got that mentality of I gotta attack and you know what I mean. I gotta protect and attack. I guess you could say it's just too crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and it's sad because you ask them after and they don't know what happened. They say they black out and they don't know what's going on. They're there physically, but in their mind they're at war. Like their whole flashbacks come back hardcore. Like they feel like they're like the VR. They think they're there again. It's just crazy. And then I have another sister that always thinks she's big and she's not fat, dude. She's not fat. She's just like in between. Because my mom's side is skinny, my dad's side is kind of big, but she's in between. You know what I mean? And she doesn't even look like she's fat, and she almost overdosed on losing weight pills because she's always said that she's too big. She don't like herself, and she started drinking pills, and that's another thing. That's it's very sad to see somebody think they gotta go to that extreme. You know what I mean? To look good. She's always wants to look, I guess, normal. She says, but I'm like, you're normal. You're pretty. What the hell's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, why would you
Do you have
overdose
any of your
on pills?
friends that suffer from eating disorders or anything like that going through high school?
My
Because I had a lot of friends that went through that stuff.
my friends, yeah, I had two of them, but she thought by using meth she was gonna lose weight. She's just big. She can't do nothing about it. You know those persons that have big hips and they can't, no matter what they do, those hips won't go down. You know what I mean? And she's just big hips. She's not big because she's skinny from the top of like, but her body since she has big hips and a big butt, that's never gonna go away no matter what she does. And she was always thinking she was huge, but she's not. You know what I mean? So she thought, okay, no more pills. She even went to go do those sticky things that stick on your body so you can lose weight. That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
She tried all kinds. She tried the pills. That didn't work. She wanted to go do a lipo. That's when she found out she was pregnant by twins. But they couldn't tell that she was pregnant by twins because they were, I guess, hidden because she's so big, I guess, from the hips or whatnot. And she thought meth was gonna make her lose weight. It didn't work, so she tried it all until she gave up. She's normalized. She's cool. She gave up on that. She just loves herself now because of what she is. But it took her almost since seventh grade all the way to like she was 22. And we're like, damn, it took her a long ass time. But
Puffy, how do you get through your days like on a daily basis? My question is like I
what is
take
my
a
motivation?
drug that
I
helps
know.
me with my cravings. When you get cravings, what do you do to
I
not
eat a
fall
lot of
to those
candy.
cravings?
I eat a lot of
Yeah, I
candy.
do too. I can't believe you
I eat
said
a lot
that.
of
I
candy.
eat one of those Reese things, four of those Reese cups. I have a
I
bad
drink
chocolate
soda, but I
addiction.
eat a
Bad
lot of.
chocolate
I
addiction.
got a lot of chocolate addiction. It's
It's
sad.
so funny you said that.
I'm in love with M and M's. I can have a whole bag of
Chocolate
M&Ms,
reduces endorphins in your head.
and,
It's like a
and
high.
anything that has to do with Hershey's and anything chocolatey, dude, to the point
It's funny you said
where
that.
if I have urine, I have to go get powdered chocolate and I put it in my mouth to see if it has
Oh my
some
god,
type
I
of
do the
chocolate.
same thing.
It's just crazy. My kids are like, "Damn,
No,
you
I
got
do
a
the
lot of
same thing.
candy. It's normal. That's like a change. I'd rather do that
What
than go
about with
do."
your depression? Because I be getting, I'll admit it.
I too.
sometimes I come on YouTube and it's
Mhm.
to distract me from my depression in my own head.
But
For
sometimes I do.
real.
I draw. I
I don't
draw,
think about it when I'm on here.
or I go outside and distract my head, or I just like.
I play like a character on here, and I don't think about my own depression on here. It's like
And you know,
another
everybody
world.
judges of the way we act or whatever, and they say we're
It's
super
clearly an
different, this
addiction,
and that.
but
It's like
it helps.
I don't know how people see me, but everybody says I'm always high, and I'm like, I'm high, I'm hyper, but I'm hyper, but I'm not
No, you
high.
talk
You
fast and you act
Hey,
hyper, but it's because
of all
you
that,
have ADHD. My
and I
son acts
have,
like that too.
dude,
Are
take
you
a
on
lesson.
Adderall? Do you take
I no,
Adderall?
hell no. I stopped taking medication. They
See,
tried to give
that's
me.
why you're like that. My son, he has to
Yeah, I
take
understand.
Adderall.
It's because if I take anything, I feel. Dude,
If he doesn't take it,
They
I
had
can't
me at
control him.
200. They had me at 200 on Seroquel, and I couldn't even go restroom. I literally was my eyes closed trying to figure out where the restroom was at, dude. I couldn't even stay up. I couldn't. And then they gave me Depakote. That shit made me skinnier. I thought I was worse than on meth, dude. I swear to God.
I thought that
And,
too, Miss Thang.
and then then I started laughing because they put me on Xanax. Xanax got me lost. I didn't even know where the fuck I was going.
Okay,
And
now
then I
you're
was hearing
talking. So
voices.
they prescribed you to Seroquel and Xanax at the same time? At the same
Dude,
time?
no,
Bro,
that was
that would
crazy.
put you in a coma.
No, no,
Xanax,
no, no, no,
first of
no.
all, is
No,
strong.
they told me to do Xanax, and I was lost. I would be driving. I'm like, where the fuck am I going? I swear to God, I didn't even
All
know
my
my name.
DUIs were from Xanax. I had two of them. I almost had a third.
And then,
Every car crash, I've totaled like 9 or 10 different cars.
damn,
Every single car I totaled, I was on Xanax. That's a
dude, when I was
fact.
on Depakote too, like I saw, like you
That
know
drug is
how
horrible.
you see cartoons or movies that everything stops, like time stops. I saw time stopping, and my nephew running into a car, like trying to kill himself, and all the kids were like, say they were playing mode, and then everything just time stopped. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God, Puffy.
I
I'm
see some
telling you, like,
crazy
I relate
shit,
to this in
crazy.
so many different ways.
And then nobody believed me. Everything I was crazy. I'm like, no, dude. I swear to God, I saw the whole world stop, and I was just turning around, like if I was in a dream, like just turning around, everything stopped. Everybody was like, if somebody was putting out water, the water hose, and everything was stopped. It was frozen. And then I would have this fucking weird ass dreams, dude. That one time that I was driving, and then I was stuck in the sky, and it was snowing, and first it was raining, and when I got out of the car, everything froze and started snowing, and then I would dream that I was in the car. When I got off, I saw nothing but bumblebees coming at me, trying to kill me. Those were the kind of dreams I was having. It was crazy. Or dude, all my dreams are
Wow.
about death. All my dreams ever since I was little to grew up. I died once when I have a heart murmur. I died once, and they told me they had to put me in this. My mom told me they put me in this tub full of ice or something. I don't know why. And then it was great. I've been through hell and back. I'm telling you. And I've
Sound like it.
and then I've been through life situations. It's crazy. Somebody came at me, and then they had a gun in my face, and then they've hit me with bats. I've been in a lot of things. Yeah, I guess that's why I don't feel that life is challenging at times. Sometimes I feel like it's like come at me. I am ready for it status sometimes, and it's like I cope with a lot of things from the worst I've been. That's why when they tell me on YouTube, I'm like, dude, tell me something I haven't heard. Tell me something new and prove it to me, and I'll stop talking. But if you don't got nothing to tell me and you got nothing else to tell me about different that I haven't heard or done, move on, and we can all move out like adults.
Are you talking about addiction?
Yeah, everybody comes at me, oh, you're this and that. I'm like, dude, I'm clean. I just passed the CPS fucking case not that long ago, and you guys are coming at me with I'm digital. And then you know what they tell me? I know you don't, but it's fun to say it just because it's fun. I'm like, you're
Yeah,
fucking
because they want to
retarded.
create content because you
Yeah,
talk fast, so they can say that you're just fucking messed up all the time. But really, in reality, you have ADHD and you're not taking Adderall, and that's just the way you are, and it is what it is. Who cares what these fucking trolls say? I tell you what, I get called a junkie all the fucking time. It's like second nature to me. I don't even react to it anymore. I get trolled in the worst ways
that's
on
why when they
here.
tell me,
I
I
live with your
go, why
family. You
you
live with your
so?
mom. You're a fucking bum.
Yeah,
All you do is drugs. You know, I take what I give. Like, I shared my story to try to help people. If they're going to use it to troll me, well, then that's their problem. Like, I know somebody's going to listen to this and
hey,
relate.
that's
I
why
know
when
this dude Greg relates down here,
yeah,
Mr.
a lot of
Troll,
people
and I know
really
other
it
people
really
relate.
does. Yeah, it helps somebody open up and understand a little bit more. To some can take it how they want it, some can use it as they want to throw it. But like I said, use it. I don't care. You want to put me out there? My family does it. My family put me out there. Some people knew things I didn't
Hey,
even know
Julia.
myself.
Thanks
So
for
you know what I
coming.
mean? Everybody can tell your story, but as long as you know what's up with your own self, nobody should give a damn. Neither you. You know what I mean? Like, bring it, homie. I'm ready. That's what I tell everybody. Throw me
Yeah.
something you haven't heard. Something new will make me like, well, okay. I'm a person that is a show and tell. You show me and tell me, I'll be cool. I'll show you what I'm telling you as I go. You know what I mean? I've been through a lot of convictions of judgment, but I'm like, whatever. If
Have you
you
ever
like
gotten
me,
in
like
trouble
me.
with
If
the
you don't,
law?
I have, but they throw me off the car because they say I talk too much and they don't want to hear me from from the jail
No, are you kidding me? So
no,
you got
they tell
arrested,
me,
but the cop
yeah,
let you go
yeah,
because you
yeah.
wouldn't
They
shut
tell me,
up?
I'm sorry, but I'm getting you off. I'd rather give you a ticket because I ain't gonna deal with you from the station to the county jail. Hell, motherfucking no, you don't shut the fuck up. That's what they told me. Three times they
Wow.
told me that. And I
Puffy, funny.
no, I'm serious. I never thought
Cause
to tell you that. Oh, because they asked me my name and I was trying to spell it out for them. They're like, "Oh hell, like I will not stand you in my car."
Lori, do you hear that?
Everybody, I swear to God, everybody in the apartments are started laughing. They're like, "That's a good one." So we should all talk to them.
That's
They all
funny,
started
Puff.
laughing. Like three times they arrested me. They're like, "No, fuck no, I will not stand you from here to the station to the fucking county. Fuck no." Whoever does, please take her, but I'm
Wow.
not taking her. Yeah, it's a good one.
I can't admit
You've never heard that? No, you haven't.
yeah, this guy was like, I was pull over for a minute.
And then the second time because you talk a lot and you talk so fucking fast, I did not want to hear this. That's all I hear.
Just put the interview on 0.75 speed and it'll be just fine.
I know, I know. And my mom goes,
Just playing, puppy.
rewind. I understood the beginning word in the last one.
I
Rewind,
could
please.
follow you, Puffy. I could
My kid,
follow you.
my kids go, Mom, I understood perfectly. No shit,
And I'm
baby.
gonna chop this up and put some gems together and,
Hey,
make
I
little
could be
videos.
funny, trust and believe me. I could count on myself before anybody counts on me. Trust and believe me. I got a lot of stories on that one.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, you talking about your children and how it
That's
felt when they were taken from you
yeah. And
and
then I
putting
had
yourself out there like that took
my
incredible
15-year-old
courage.
dude. One time we were laughing, but because the way my 15-year-old, I didn't know she was talking about herself. Okay, she said that she tried to like. She goes, Mom, I did something funny, and I'm like, okay. I started laughing because every time she says something funny, it's kind of it's about because it's funny. But she said I tried to like hang myself, and I'm like, what? That's not funny. I told her right. She goes, I was on my bunk beds. Her bunk beds are not that tall. That's tall as her. And she goes,
Hmm.
and I try to hang myself from my bunk bed. I'm like, how in the hell is she gonna do that? They're as tall as her. So how in the fuck is that gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like I was trying to picture the whole thing. I told her that's not funny what you're telling me, but go ahead, keep telling me. Because she told me, let me tell you. And I'm like, why are you so excited of talking about this? And she goes, cause I was taller than my bunk bed. So how is that gonna happen? I'm like, that was like to me in my head it was also a retarded move. You know, how are you gonna do
Let me
something
ask
that's
you this quick
taller than
question,
you?
right? Let
Yeah,
me ask you this question. Um, okay, you have five of your kids,
yeah.
and the other three kids are with the other father, right? Those
No, well,
five
my
kids that
oldest
are in
is
your house.
my 22-year-old. She's in college. The other two boys are with their dad and their grandma.
Okay. And the rest, there's five kids at your house with you
Yeah,
right now,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, do you have any help from the fathers? Do you have support? What is that like?
Well, the two of them, my 18 and my 15-year-old, their dad is. She knows because I've always warned them. If you're gonna come in, don't leave me with the aftermath. You guys do not want the aftermath after that because my kids they turn into two different people. You know what I mean? My daughter is the one that
Yeah.
mainly gets more hurt because my son to their dad's family, it's like you know what I mean. My daughter tells him why it's always him. I'm in the family too. I'm also one of y'all. Why is it? You guys call me because he doesn't answer. Like, why do you even call me? It's like makes no fucking sense. She tells me straight up. And I'm like, dude, well, I can't do nothing about it. I can't tell them, why don't you? Because there's not my place to be like telling them because they came out their dad. Like, my son told them, oh, you're never here now. Suddenly you want to come back. What do you want? What do you need? What's going on? And then he even told them, do you need my help? You need money? I don't need your money. Do you need me to help you, dad? And I was like, oh, that's some hard shit to say to the dad. Like, oh, I got you instead of you getting me since you never have. You know what I mean? And then they opened up, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna come and give him shots. Boom, boom, boom. I haven't heard from the dad since. They told him why you lied was you always made me tell my friends my dad's coming, never showed up. for band recitals and shit like that, and everybody would make fun of me because they thought I was lying. Dude, I broke my heart. You know what I mean? And it's like, God damn.
That
And they're getting older. They're having combos with them. And then my daughter went and go, why are you calling me dad? If you really never wanted to talk to me, why don't you won't just tell me where's your brother and I'll tell you he's not here. You know what I mean? Or he's at work. My son told me, if you ever need me, let me know, dad. I'll be here to help you, but don't come and try to tell me I need something because I don't need you. I haven't needed you in these past years that's passed, and I'm getting tired of you coming in and out. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
if I ask you any questions that you
Oh,
don't
don't
want to
worry.
answer,
Oh,
just
I'll
say that I
answer.
don't want. No, but listen, I want you to say I don't want to answer if there's things that you don't want to talk about. But I'm just curious, like,
No, I
you
know. And
live, are you
then,
supporting yourself? Like, you have your
yeah,
own place?
yeah.
You hear that, y'all? She has her own place. You're
And
supporting
it's a
yourself,
trip
and
because
you have all those kids, and you're by yourself, and you're doing it all by yourself.
and I'm telling you, I'm multitasking.
That's fucking
And then
amazing.
now I'm
I
trying to
really
help my
envy
son
that.
also because she's
I
disabled and she's
really
like,
fucking envy that.
it takes time to cope with everything in life.
Like,
That's
I
what I'm gonna say.
really envy that in like so many different ways. You don't even know how much I envy that, you know?
What I don't know, like people tell
Just you
me,
being able to do it all, to support them, to get the
or
money up,
you.
to feed them, to give them
Sometimes
what they.
I
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
just
I have to like if my kids want something and
I
they
envy
can't get
you
it,
for
I
that.
hustle. I like hustling. Hustling is like I fucking go help my friend clean his house and I go do this and I go do that and you know what I mean. But my kids go, Mom, you go on a mission. I'm like, it's because you guys asked me for something. I don't care if I don't. I first put my kids, buy them whatever they need first, and whatever's left is me. You know what I mean? I don't
You
go,
have
oh,
help for people watching your kids. You have like a little bit of
no,
family
no,
support.
my no. They don't even come visit me. It's rare. I'm telling you. If they call, they say, "What you want? What you need? What's going on?" You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I
It's
know,
rare.
I know.
And they're in town, and I don't even know. Sometimes they pop out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, what's up from? My brother lives in my town, and he don't even come visit me. It's rare.
Wow.
So when they come here, I'm like, oh, they want something from me. You know what I mean? Because if they throw on me all kinds of shit, so I'm like, but this junkie's here helping you, aren't I? You know what I mean? Like, you're asking me. I never in my life threw none of their faces. They're good at doing that to me, but I really don't give a damn. But as long as I
But
know
you're
I'm
there by
doing something
yourself?
good.
You're there by yourself
Yeah,
with the kids?
my son's 18, my daughter's 15. They help me sometimes with the kids.
Okay. All right.
And then when I do something, they usually at school.
Man,
So it's
I
cool.
fucking envy you a lot, man.
You gotta
You
learn
got
to
it
multitask.
together and you supported your kids
And
and you
it's
work
trippy because
really hard.
at the beginning, when you have your nights being your days, it's kind of weird trying to flip them back to normal. It's like, yeah, there's days that I can't sleep. It's not because I don't want to. It's just the stress or something like bothering me. And when you have ADHD, you can sleep 30 minutes and you'll be feeling like a recharged battery. So it's like, yeah, it's multitask. That's why you learn to cope with it. If something goes wrong, you just get up again and do it again. You know what I mean? That's what I do.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
and then
I
I don't
do.
wait on nobody. I don't wait on nobody because I feel like if I wait on somebody, I'm never gonna get nothing done. Like my kids know, oh, my mom's already anxious. Now, oh, she's gonna get up and do it herself. So like, yep, I gotta do it. Like the goat thing, I did it. The fencing for the goats, I did that. The dog jumped the fence
Damn.
and bended the fence. I did that by myself. Every time, wait for me to help. The day I wait for somebody, that shit never gonna get done. I swear to God, I always say that. I'm really impatient. That's the only thing. So,
Yeah,
and
but
then,
you know what? You're doing what you got to do to get by and to support your kids and to better. You're going to talk about you're going to your school. Talk about all the good things you're doing.
this time I'm gonna take two classes only at the college, and I'm gonna take like four more at home, like online. But I'm gonna get better on my videos, and I'm gonna start doing stuff because I'm doing video production next and audio. So I'm
Oh,
gonna,
that'll be awesome! I'm looking forward to
yeah.
see what kind of YouTube videos come out from that.
Well, like I'm gonna have a lot of projects, and I'm learning how to do like your background. I'm
Editing.
learning how to do that, all that. No, the background stuff right now. I'm doing illustration. I did just finish that class with an 8. Thank God. They're grading everything right now.
Wow.
So I got a 4.0. Yes, I got
Yeah,
music stuff. I got
I really envy that because you got your foot on go. Like you're continuing to try to better yourself. You're continuing to do things to better yourself, whether it be school, find a better career in life, better your skills. you know?
Well, I'm
And you're
doing
taking
that,
care of your kids, man.
and
Like
then my
by
grandbaby's coming.
yourself.
I talk a lot about my kids and my. If you guys notice that I talk about my kids come
That's
around.
okay.
Hey, everybody laughs because they're just like you. Now that's the sad part. They're hyped as hell. So when we get all together, imagine my friends are like, imagine I have to listen to six of you guys. It's crazy. But
Hmm.
at least we have fun though. We do some crazy shit though. But you know what I mean? Hey, I do whatever makes them happy. Dude, they call me midget because they're taller than me. They go, "Where's my mom?" Oh, wait, she's. I gotta look down towards you. Not, I don't look up to you, mom. I look downwards. I was like, "Oh my god, no, they did." Because I'm short. I'm 5 feet taller, like six, almost 6 feet tall. So it's like, yeah,
I'm really, you know what I'm hoping? I'm gonna make a real quick announcement too. Like,
what
I'm
happened?
really hoping that somewhere in the bushes later on, she's probably not gonna be able to watch it now, but maybe later on, Suzelle will see this stream and she will listen to your story and
I
she will
got,
get
I got,
motivated
I
and
got into
you
it.
know,
That's
get
why I
some
told
hope.
her what I told her. Forget about your surroundings. Forget about any guy around you. Get your kids. Focus on your kids. First comes you. Focus on you. Fix a little bit of your mindset. Go towards your kids because the kids will know if you really want them back, and they'll know if they're really loved by you. They don't give a damn about the world, but the one that brought them here. That's
They
what I'm
really
always
do.
gonna.
They
They don't
love,
care
they
what they
want their
got or what
parents.
they lost. They only want the one person that actually shows them they're worth fighting for. I'm telling you
Yep,
because that's what happened with my situation. I
I
cried. I
know.
got on my knees. I told them I'm sorry. I told them to forgive me. They told me they're not gonna.
Does she have your phone number by any
No,
chance?
no, I have her on other social medias and stuff like that.
All right,
I
well,
talk to her like
yeah,
that.
I'm
But
gonna try to get
like I
her
told her,
to call you
focus.
more.
The focus is what you need. If you show your kids you're there, they're never gonna ask you to like to apologize or anything. They're always gonna know that my mom has my back. No matter when I'm down, no matter what I do, my mom has my back, and my mom wants us back. So that's a lesson to
Yeah,
be learned and taught that your kids are what you make of them. You know what I mean? If you want to teach them
exactly.
to be, like I tell my kids, decide responsibilities or fuckabilities. You pick the path and you join the way. So I'm always gonna have their back no matter what I tell them, and I'm always gonna be their mom. I'm always gonna love them. I'm always gonna back them up. Nobody around them is gonna hurt them while I'm here. And when if they need me, I'm just waiting for the call. You know what I mean? Like, and they're always gonna have each other. No matter what happens, they're always gonna have each other. The world can go down, and as long as they stay strong, all eight of them, they'll be good. You know what I mean? Like that's all they need. They need each other. That's how it works, and that's how the strong come and live. You know what I mean? But if they don't notice that, then it's hard. I've always taught them that. I'm always gonna be here. I'm always gonna be with you, fail or not, you fuck up or not. I'll always help you get up again. You know what I mean? And if you fall, get up and do it again. That's all you can do. And if you fuck up saying at school or something, whatever, there's always time to have a break and go back to where you're at. And you start all over. Okay, you start all over. I back you up on that. And as long as you want to keep forward, I'll push forward with you. That's all I tell them. And I'm the only one that I'm gonna love you, care for you
Just
unconditionally, for nothing in return.
yeah, like yeah, and you know, when I talk to her and stuff, you know, I hear all the things that I used to, not me per se, but like I related to like the kid things
It
and
gives you a
being
flashback of
down,
what we've been through. Yeah.
just relative to all that, and I'm really trying to give her motivational support to
When
really
I lost
forget
my kids,
about
I'm
him.
gonna tell you this. When I lost my kids, a friend of mine was pregnant with me at the same time with when I was pregnant with the child. I told you that got the test and tested us and got positive. Well, we were both pregnant with boys. Okay. When I had my kid, her baby died. Okay. Her baby died when she was almost 7 months. Okay, she went
Oh
through
my
hell, but
God,
I let her take
that's
like
a
hug my baby
tragedy.
and have my baby like her god kid, but then it became more of she believed it was her kid, so I didn't know what to do. You understand what I'm saying? And I was
Jeez.
because they were both boys. I was having a boy, she was having a boy. She showed me pictures that they put the baby in this box. She didn't want to leave the baby at the hospital, but she had no choice. She had to leave them there for testing, why it passed away or whatever. And it was sad, dude. I didn't know what to do. I helped her get a little bit of her depression out by sharing my son with her. But at the same time, it kind of bit me in the ass because she was literally getting attached to the kid. But
Yeah,
I was
that
glad I
I
did
bet
it.
that was happening, like, because she was going through depression, and that was
Yeah, but
filling a
I didn't
void.
want to.
There's
I
people
want
that
to.
lose babies like that, Puffy, and then they
Yeah,
try to take other people's babies because of
that's
it.
what I was trying to avoid, and I did avoid it because she kind of like was okay with the baby being around and stuff like that. Because we had the baby, she lost hers and mine was born. In other words, and I was
Oh,
tripping out because I didn't know how to help her, and I thought that was because I've always tried to figure out a way to help somebody, and I can never say no. My mom, everybody tells me you got to learn how to say no. I can't. If I see something, somebody needs help, I go down like Mighty Mouse trying to help somebody. If I have to stop eating just to help, like I'll help. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of things in life that I don't regret. Why? Because it's taught me different lessons. Like I've been used by people. Oh, she's too friendly. She's too nice. Da da da. Yeah, but I learned my lesson how to catch on to it or whatnot. But I have selective friends. Like I helped a lot of my friends. My one of my friends had given her I think it was her kidney to her husband. Her husband passed away. Me and her were so close or whatever. She passed away. Rest in peace. She passed away by COVID, and it was just a big loss for me because she was Mama Bear. Mama Bear was my mom. She picked me up when my family threw me out. You know what I mean? So little things like that. I helped a lot of people. Like right now, I have a friend that she's like Angel. She has the same sickness as Angel and everything, and so I know what Angel goes through in everyday moment. It's sad. It's sad
yeah.
because sometimes they can't even get up because everything's hurting or they
Oh,
can't do
yeah.
things. And my friend just got her hands reconstructed, I guess, because her hands were leaking. You know how Batman the penguin, how he has his hands all together, like his fingers and stuff like
Yep.
that. They were starting to look like that. So they had to reconstruct her arm and everything, and she feels useless. And they get to this depression that they can't do nothing and they can't fix themselves, and it's crazy. And she's my age, so it's like I try to help her feel a little bit more better. Like I'll even go joke at her out, and she goes, "When you leave, echo starts happening because I'm by myself." You know what I mean? But you're talking a lot, so it's like, yeah, at least I have like a movie going on. You know what I mean? But I try to cheer her up here and there.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
made me
Cassandra.
she's made me done some missions. She's made me get car like in the car. Cats go in there. She's made me chase the cat at the bank because they got out of the car. And she felt like she's an animalholic. She loves animals, and she's
Miss
all like, "Hey,
Thang.
come here," you know what I mean? It's
Puffy, you were
crazy.
there for Miss Thang when
Yeah,
she told her.
has
When did she
yeah.
tell her life story? I want to go hear
She
that.
started it when I was it was like 3 months ago,
Is
I
it on a
believe.
stream? Is it on a stream?
Yeah, she has her stream on a live. I even questioned her on
It's
some
on her
questions.
channel?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna try to go
I,
find that and watch
she has,
it.
me and her has some similarities in certain things,
I
for
didn't
sure.
know that. That's
It's
awesome,
crazy.
man.
And it's hard to like I told everybody like when I was little, my dad used
Miss
to have this
Thang.
mechanic. A friend that did mechanics in the back of the house, and it was hard to like,
You're a mechanic just like me.
hey, yeah, hey, I
Yeah,
love
it's another
racing.
thing we
Racing
got in
cars.
common.
Hey, it's fun racing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not.
know you're building that one car, right?
Yeah, and then, you know what the funny part is that me and her have similar things like on the nobody wants to talk about, but like when we found out the person that was hurting me and my sister like passed away, we were actually like almost throwing a party because they were gone. But like at the same time, we felt like bad because he passed. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we're like, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. I've been through hell. I'm telling you. But to us, it was like whatever. Like it was a person gone. Thank God that it's mode. You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck. But I tell my sister, well, they're gone. We don't have to think of what if and what not. That's why we wouldn't go to certain places because that person was there. And yeah, it's
Oh
just
yeah,
things that
Julia? That's
it's
cool.
crazy. Hey,
How old's your son?
whoa, hi Julia. I didn't know she was there. That's Julia. She changed her thing.
Yeah, Julia's here.
I didn't even know
Um,
because I didn't recognize it. Oh, the
Another
listeners.
thing I wanted to ask, right, was
What's
like,
happening?
you know, because I be getting in my head a lot. Like I said before, like,
Have you ever had dreams like you're using but you're asleep in a dream?
yeah,
That's how
that's
I
another
started.
thing. I'll have drug
Yes,
dreams where I'll use in my
when I
dream.
got to that situation that I
That's horrible.
decided to stop or whatever, dude, I would wake up thinking I was using. I'm crazy. I'm like,
I
dude,
would listen, I would feel high in my dream.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
There
would
you go.
feel the rush and I would feel the high and then I'd wake up
And you felt like
disappointed
it was
and want to go
real.
get high. That's what would
Yeah, yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
They're
That's what I would tell
scary.
people. I would ask people, hey, have
I
you
don't
guys
like
ever
those
dreamt that you
dreams
were
at
using, but
all.
it feels so real? And they're like,
When
yeah,
those
that's
dreams start coming back, you need to really start talking about that shit because
It's
that's gonna
part of
catch up
recovery,
to you.
and if you don't snap out of it, you're gonna go use. In other words,
You
right?
will
So
use.
yeah,
And
that's
when
what I'm
thing
saying. It's
and it'll
hard.
happen when something happens, like you relapse. That's another thing for people in the audience. Like if you have a relapse, right? The person that's relapsing, they don't relapse like when they pick the drug up and use it. They relapse months and weeks sometimes before that happens, when
Yeah, and
their
they don't even know.
behaviors
Hmm.
change. Somebody goes to 12-step meetings, or they have support groups, or they do certain things
When
to
you
stay
feel that
sober. They
anger
act a
coming,
certain
different
way.
person mode, then you
Yeah,
know it's
once they
coming.
change that though,
Hmm.
once they change how they're acting and they start going back to their old ways, that becomes
Yeah,
very much
even though they're
easier
not
to
using,
relapse.
and you know they're not using yet, but they're starting to go to that level that they're gonna
Yeah,
go
like they're
so
doing
far.
things
They're
like
about
lying
to,
and
yeah,
not
because
coming
they
to
their
certain
mind
meetings when they
starts
were
thinking.
supposed to, and not keeping obligations. Like you
Did
start
you know
seeing them
that?
fall off little by little.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
that
say, did you
happens.
know that it takes 120 days to be midway to like your brain restarting because it's so used to the drug for so many years and stuff that when it
Oh
starts
yeah, it's
letting it go, it
post-acute
takes
withdrawal.
at
Yeah.
120. And one day, that's what the psychologist told me. When you're hit 120, let me know. And I said, why? Because you're gonna start feeling the relapsing mode coming in, that level of relapse, and you're gonna start having dreams, and you're gonna start thinking that what if I do this because I'm upset, and your whole thoughts like when how you started that, oh, I'm depressed, I'm gonna go use, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go use. So that's at 110, 120, you're gonna start dreaming of it, that you want it so bad because your brain is starting to kick in that it needs it. Like it's fiending. You're not fiending, your brain is. Also, like, oh, okay, so is that a good thing or a bad thing? And I didn't believe it until I hit that mark, and I'm like, is this normal? I thought I was fucking with my head, you know what I mean? But it feels
Yeah.
so real, though. It feels so real. I'm not gonna lie. And some people, when you explain, they're like, "What are you talking about?" I guess they gotta go through it before they understand or whatever. But I went to the doctor, like, yeah, that's the point I told you. You're gonna want to relapse because it feels so real that you don't even know how it happened and why it feel like that. But since they know your head knows when you're in depression, they know that your head's mentally prepared to go back to us. I gotta run to go get it. You know what I mean? Because it's feeling for it. It's gonna make you think you're depressed, or the thing that triggers it. It's gonna make you think about it a lot. That's what happened,
Send
and
it to me,
it's crazy.
Miss Tang. Send it to me. Send it to me. When I get you on IG, send it. You could send it to me or something. I could download it or something. I want to listen to it. That's messed up, man. People are scumbags on this freaking internet. But you know what? Just listen to this. You say that people were saying that, right? That was probably a couple people, but everybody that watched your video, there was probably a lot of people that related to it that might have not been brave enough to comment, but it helped. That's my
You
point.
know, that's why I would always think, should I tell my story? Should I not tell my story? Because people out here like don't want to
I've
see.
already told my story before, so it's out there. People already know I'm a drug addict. They already know I live at home with my
That's why when they
family.
tell me tell
They
your
know I
story,
have my, they know everything
yeah,
about me. It's
I
not
did it
gonna, they
today.
can't
You know
troll
why?
me any more than they
Because it
already
freed
have.
me. It's freeing my past guilt, my past judgment. But when people come and tell me shit, I don't really care. Why? Because I have it in the real life, so I really don't give a damn. I've heard it all. You know what I mean? So English
Hmm.
and in Spanish, so they could come and tell me whatever they. You know what I mean? I really don't give a damn because I've heard it in English and Spanish. So yeah, the good thing for me being bilingual, I guess you say, I've heard it all from the shittiest shit that I've ever heard, and yeah, and I've seen worse shit from people that I know. Like my cousin, I did his story. He went to jail, kind of, you know, he almost overdosed on fentanyl. Cause that was he used to be a meth addict big time. He's well known for being a dealer and shit like that, right? But when he went to jail, he's like, I'm finally gonna change. When he's about to change, his my aunt passes away. His daughter, 3-year-old, passes away with the girlfriend. The girl of his love of his life, she passes away months later. As soon as she found out that her daughter was dead from the car crash, she passes. Why? Because that actually killed her. The your daughter's not here no more. That is killed her, and it's sad because my cousin feels alone now. But the good thing he's still sober. That's a good thing. I don't know how he's
Good
doing
for
it,
him.
but it's shout outs to my cousin Chucky. Dude, he got a job. He stayed away from where we live. He went out. He found his long first love, and then she's helping him through everything. So I'm glad he went back with her, and you know what I mean. At least he's coping with it. But he lost the main people in his life, which is his dad, his daughter, and you know the baby mama and stuff like all at the same time. That's it's like it's too crazy. After jail, after he decided to fix himself like normal, but he's fucked up in the head a little bit, but because of all that hit him at once, you know what I mean? But that's
Me
normal.
too, Cassandra. Me too. It helps me. It does help me to talk about this stuff. It helps me in like a big way. You
If
know.
anybody gets this and it helps them, hey,
Yeah.
shout out. You know what I mean? I
Shout
don't
out to
ask for
them.
anything. I don't ask for anything. I just want to help somebody understand others because some are quick to judge instead of understand. Some people may cause just by the words said to others may cause somebody to kill themselves, and I've seen it all. That's why I'm saying don't just come at people without you knowing what's their background because you might make a person do crazy shit. Believe me or not. And it's sad because you ain't gonna get nothing out of it. All you're gonna see is, oh, I fucked up. Why did I tell her? People that get bullied have killed themselves over words, because they don't know that behind that, people at their own where they live, they probably got a that. Oh, you're this and that. If they're fat, who cares? If they're skinny, who cares? If they got issues or fucking you don't like their flaws, who cares? They affect you? No, right? Do you have to deal with it? No, right? So why should it fucking matter to you what they look like or what they do or what they have? Let them be them. If they're happy, let them be
Yeah.
them. If you're unhappy, that's on you. Go judge the world for all you fucking know. But in reality, you're gonna end up alone. Why? Because you're a fucking dick or you know what I mean? What does it give you? Nothing. It
Yo,
just gives you more misery.
that's a fact. Tobacco's are the worst.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
smoke? Do you guys
I
smoke
don't.
down there?
Nope.
I'm still smoking,
Nope.
unfortunately.
Hey,
You
over here
quit,
they
Puff?
said I don't
Puff, you quit?
smoke. I don't smoke. I've never smoked
Never
cigarettes.
did? Never
Mm,
picked it up?
hell nah.
Good for you.
I don't like the
That was a
smell.
smart decision.
I don't drink it. No, no. Dude, I don't like the smell of cigarettes. It's annoying.
Yeah, I smoke cigarettes and I also smoke weed, and I need to try to stop that stuff. I'm trying to get
We were laughing at
healthier
my
with my
dad because
body and
we
stuff.
laughed at my dad because he would get drunk and he'll cry and he goes, "Nobody loves me." We're like, "Oh, that's not an alcoholic person we want to be around." No, he was dude. He was crying. We were laughing, and then he stopped because we were making fun of him. We're like, "You drink, you don't shouldn't be drinking. You're worse
No
than an alcoholic."
cigs. No cigs. No
I don't. I've seen my
cigs.
sister and my brother go through patches. My brother went to the war and came back chewing tobacco, and I'm like, that's nasty. But yeah,
Oh, that's good for you, Julia. That's awesome. See, God is
congrats.
there, and
Yeah.
that God pulled me out of my own addiction. God is keep helping me stay sober every day. I talk to God more than I talk to anybody else on this planet. That's a
Like when
fact.
people
I
come to
need
me
it.
with, my mom had it in different religions, so I kind of know what a Mormon is, and I kind of know who this is and this and that. But like every time they come and try to pull me in one, I
Did
go,
you lean
"What
on
religion?"
religion to get sober? Did you lean on it?
No,
Okay.
I just wanted my
What
kids
did
back.
did
I just wanted
so
my kids back.
you didn't need to
I
use 12 steps or
no.
any type of religion.
No, because if I did, my family would go over there and tell them to test me, and I try to avoid the embarrassment. You know what I mean? It's
See,
like,
see, that's the thing with you. Like the whole time that you were going through all these battles, you had CPS looking down your throat, so you had to like,
and then my
you
family
couldn't
giving me
even go
more
get
fuel.
help because they would use that. That's messed up. That they would use you going to get help against you and you getting your kids back.
And then the funny part was that I would laugh because I'll be like, okay, instead of
Messed
helping
up.
me, you're drowning me more because you're coming to the building and
That's
I
what I
have
mean. CPS is a joke in this country. That's another debate for another day. But CPS is a joke. What they did with me and my family, with my son, was an absolute joke. There was no
they told me
threat
that if I
there.
came out
There
dirty
was no threat.
with my sixth child, that they were gonna take all of them, and I will never see the sixth child that I mine, the one I told you statistic that I had with my friend. Um, I was never gonna see that one. My 6 year old, my 6 year, my 10-year-old now. They told me, oh, you're never gonna see him if you're dirty and this and that. And then my family, when I was pregnant, they would tell me to my stomach, they'll be like, we'll never like you. They'll tell my son in my stomach, and they'll tell
What
me,
up,
you're
Mr.
never
P?
gonna be a part of the family and this and that. And we're like, dude, he's in my stomach and you're telling him this instead of saying I love you or something. Me, he will never love you. They would tell him. And yeah, crazy shit.
Do you want to maybe answer questions? See if
Go ahead,
like somebody
bring
wants to
it.
come up,
I'll go
or
ahead.
then we
Yeah.
could, and then we'll end it if nobody comes up or if there's no
All right.
questions and stuff. But let's just
Let's
give
do
the
this.
opportunity for people to come up or at least ask a
You know,
question or
it's
something.
like a heavy weight off my shoulders right now. Like I feel cool. I'm like I feel cool. I
Yeah,
feel
like
like
how do you feel now that you've? Yeah, that's a good question. Like how do you feel
I
now
guess
that
it's like
you've
when you're
let all
ready to
that
let it
go?
out. Yeah, like it feels like a little bit off my
And if
shoulders.
you
Like
ever want me to make this private or take it down
oh, I really
completely,
don't care.
just ask me, please. And I swear it's not. I want you to know that. I used to tell that
Okay,
to all the people I did
I'm gonna
interviews
tell
with
you
in
like I told
Kensington.
my parents. There's nothing the world does not know about me. Unless it's something new, come and tell me. Something I've never told nobody will never be out there because I've told my story. Now everybody knows my whole story, but like I'm saying, there's nothing I'm
Yeah.
afraid of. If I were to be afraid, I would be like sitting on my ass trying to figure out why I'm afraid of it when I'm not. I've
Well, I
never been
just,
afraid. Just
I'm
heights.
just
That's all.
keeping it open, just letting you
Mm,
know that,
that's
I used
fine.
to say that to the people I interviewed in Kensington. Like I did a bunch of interviews with people that were recovering down there, or not recovering, in active addiction down there.
Mm,
Like that's what I did with my YouTube channel when I first started. Was I went down there and fed the homeless and tried to like not counsel people, but at least show them that like I knew a lot of those guys down there, a lot of the
mm.
girls down there. I knew the
Have
people,
you ever
a
had?
lot of
Have you
them.
ever had?
My ex girlfriend was down there actually. I ran into
Have
her while
you
I was doing the
ever had
outreach.
met people and forget how you met them that they hey hi how you doing? You're like, how in the
Yeah,
hell
I
do
have, and
I meet
I met these.
somebody?
I've seen my ex girlfriend, and she was like, oh my god, she looked horrible. I couldn't even bear to look at her. Like, I couldn't believe that was her. These drugs that are on the streets now, fentanyl, xylazine.
Okay,
I'm just keeping it real. It takes your entire
yeah.
like
I'm
body
gonna tell
away.
you something. Have you ever thought that you would get after like me? I have muscle spasm because
Hey, Kane.
of smoking that shit. I got memory times that I'm doing something I forget what I'm doing,
Hmm.
or they tell me, "Oh, you were here. Remember when they?" I'm like, "No, yeah, sure, but I'm not remembering
Yeah.
nothing." Or it takes me like a whole day sometimes to just remember what I'm trying to say. Or like, oh, I'm trying to think, but I remember, and then later on, give me a couple, like a half a day or something, I'll come back because I forget. Or I'm talking and I forget where I stayed in the story, or if I get distracted, it's like I'm fucked. You should have read. I feel like my memory sucks at this point, but they say it takes 5 years before it comes back. But I'm like, shit,
Do you
man.
take any pills? Like, are you on
No,
any
I will not take.
medications?
I will not take no medications after all the
No
medication
medications?
experience I've had. I fucking
Have
said
they?
no.
They've tried to give you the psych. They try to do that to me too. They try to prescribe me Seroquel, and Wellbutrin, and a
They
couple
try
other
to do
things.
that. I get
Remeron, I think.
aggressive. I get aggressive more than that's why when I went in,
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you
they
like
put
this.
me
I
on
went
Thorazine every time I go to
yes,
rehab because
I
I'm
went
always so high
to
strung.
anger management. The lady told me I'm not gonna tell I'm gonna tell you one thing. Do not waste your money. Your anger issues. I went to the disability sent me to a psychologist. They told me I had no cure. My friend that passed away, rest in peace, Mama Bear. She's all like, "Can you tell somebody they got no cure? It's because it's a routine they can't control." Is that normal? Is that bad? Is that good? But I have no cure. They told me I'm 5150 for life. That's all I
Yeah.
know right now. And then when cops come, they look at me like whoever's watched outside or whatever. They're like, "You're so little. How come you have to have four policemen plus two baggage claim?" I'm asked because I'm 5150. But how? You're only 5 feet tall. How are you gonna hurt somebody? It's like, God damn, really? You're gonna interrogate me instead of them? Like, what? Just to come tell me I had a court date. Okay, they came all guys, and everybody's all like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "Nothing." The fuck? But yeah, but nobody will take my
Well,
card.
somebody recently called CPS on you over the internet, and what did they
Yeah,
get? Nothing, because you're doing so well.
and they closed it real fast. I was tripping on that shit. I was like, that was
And
fast.
that's messed up. Whoever, I hope if anybody hears this stream, watches it, you're a freaking scumbag. Complete
It's
scumbag for
crazy.
doing that.
It's crazy. And I didn't.
Complete
And
scumbag.
at first, I thought it was my daughter's school because she goes to continuation, and it wasn't that. They straight out said we didn't call them. We didn't even know where they went. That's weird because
Now, these
when
people on YouTube, man, they'll literally call your CPS worker. Like,
but at least I
you
went.
sick
She
fucks.
did me. At least I got to laugh out of that one.
I would
'Cause
never do that. Like, oh my God. Like,
like I tell everybody, be careful how you say it, be careful how you do it, and be careful who you tell it
yeah,
to
be
because they'll
careful
bite
what you
you in the ass.
reveal on here, and if you do reveal like what we're revealing, make sure that your ducks are in order. Like you know what I mean? That means if anybody
Oh
calls you out and
yeah,
checks up on it, they'll realize that you are doing good and they can't get anything on
and
you.
like
Like if
I tell
CYS came to my
everybody,
house right
keep it
now,
a
I'd be fine
background.
because even if they tested me and I tested positive for marijuana, I have a legal card prescribed by a doctor. Like my
Exactly.
clinic, everybody approves of that shit. Like I am sober right now. That is medicine to me.
Yeah,
So
and it's not a thing that I have to do it. Like yeah, the weed part
they
is
can do
like
what they
oh,
want, but it's just people are scumbags out there.
and
And
if you
I'm
do get a
really doing this
CPS
because I know
check, the
people. I
last
used to
thing
look for
you
stories
do,
like this on the internet
do
when I
not
was
speak
using.
more than what it is because even if you give them examples, they'll flip it on you. And be careful how you speak it to them because yeah, it bites you in the ass later. I'm still
Yeah,
curious as
man.
to
Like,
if you got all the paperwork
yeah,
fast. I have to wait 30 days in my case to be close to get my stuff, and it's already closed. I could actually already go for it because already 30 days passed.
good for
But I'm
you,
saying
Puffy.
it was too crazy. Like how she get the paperwork faster than I have. You know, I'm still waiting on mine. This makes no sense. That's why I was gonna ask her
Oh.
that how she get her paperwork. You know what I mean? I want mine shit quicker too. But I don't know. It's just like it's sad to see your kids getting separated, and because over and then the homes they have them by gender. They sleep by people with their own age and stuff like that. So they're separated eventually if they're older than each. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Hey, Julia, what live was that? Your
What?
live or someone else's live? Did that
Ooh,
happen?
yeah. She was
Cop?
talking about it. Hey, some people
What?
are crazy, crazy. I swear to
Oh
God.
my god.
They
She
just
was
want to
talking
see.
about something and they called the cops on her? For real?
Yeah, I think she was saying that the cops were calling her house or knocking at her house one time. She was on Joe's life, and she's like, I gotta go. Hold on, they're knocking at my door or something. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and or
Well,
they,
she was probably on panel, right?
yeah, because
Talking,
she was the
and
guy's
then
like,
somebody either got angry with her and then wound up calling and while she was talking, and that's why. Oh my, that's so messed up, bro. People are so
people and
fucked up.
nowadays are they think some people think it's amusing just to see others trip out. Dude,
Oh my
one
god,
time we I don't know. We were on
messed
somebody's
up.
live too. The same shit happened, and well, you seen what happened with Misunderstood and Rob. You know, it was a trippy part too. They were live doing all this shit, and cops came, and it was crazy with them too. I
No,
was
I missed Misunderstood. I missed that happening with Misunderstood. You're
oh,
talking
you
about
didn't see it.
Nicole?
Yeah, the only reason I found out about it is because they woke me up and they told me, "Look, Rob's on. He's going crazy on Misunderstood," and I was like, "What?" And I was on. It was shit was at midnight where
I
I
don't
stay.
think I know Rob, but I know Misunderstood.
Well, I know the whole backstory, but I don't judge nobody because I wasn't there. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
true or
yeah.
not. Like
We
I
don't have
tell
to talk about
everybody,
the
they
backstory.
come and tell
Yeah.
me, and I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't there. I just hear and see what I see, and that's like I can't judge nobody. That's I don't know the background story to all of them. Envy is my friend, and he told me it, but I'm like, you could tell me a whole life story, and she could tell me her story. Everybody has a side to a story, but nobody
Yeah,
knows
they did a
exactly what
wellness
happened.
check on you, Julia. That's what they did, a
You know
wellness
what I mean?
check. They probably said you were high and you need to be
Yeah,
checked on because you might overdose. Wellness check.
everybody has a backstory. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Only the ones that were there. That's all I say. I never judge. I never give my opinion. Like I tell everybody,
Yeah, you
if
better
they
not
there's
because
no
you get wind up
people.
getting in trouble on these YouTube
Yeah,
streets.
and that's why when they ask me, I'm like, everybody has backstories. The only ones that know the truth is them, and they only know. And they could say whatever, flip it, whatever. It don't matter because it's only them three that were there, and they only know.
Just remember this, Puffy. If somebody takes this live and they chop it up and they try to troll us with it, just let it go
Oh, I let
because
it go. I'm like
this is
whatever.
the original, and I will always mention that. And you know,
Hey, like I tell
I don't
everybody,
think it's
I'm
gonna
done.
happen. I think the trolls will let off for this one, but I know the other ones always get restreamed.
But like I tell everybody, I don't judge nobody. I don't care if you have
Yeah,
flaws.
man, we're just trying to help like some
Yeah,
parents that might have some addicted kids and somebody that's and they're just trying to
just
spread a
remember,
little hope, a little
I'm gonna tell you
positiveness
this:
on this channel.
treasure who you have. Be careful how they act. Look at their actions and try to help them out. Because you let them
It's
down,
so
they'll
sad
doubt
because nobody wants to hear the positiveness. Everybody wants the crap. That's all they want is shit
a
shows.
lot of shit I've seen. People left behind because they try to speak out and their own family or their own friends left them out to die. They try to reach out, but we're so judgeable of others that we don't want to see the pain in their eyes. You know what I mean? I had a friend. He was my aunt's sister. Lost a son. Got burned. Put in a can of trash can and got him burned in there. Okay, for no goddamn reason. The guy when he was pulled out of the trash, he was already dead. He got a shotgun to his head, I think, and then the Bible. He had the Bible in his hand and a picture of his
Hmm.
son. That was the last thing they knew it was him because of the picture of his son, and it was crazy. I've
How
seen
about
crazy shit happen.
how
That
about
is
suicides? Do you have any friends commit? I had
my
a.
friend.
Let me tell
My
you this
friend
one story.
suicide. Go ahead.
I had a
My best
friend.
friend. My best
He
friend
had
suicide.
well. First of all, I had a and there's a video on my channel about this. I don't know if it's still up. I might have took it down. one of my friends, she was a girlfriend of mine. We were seeing each other. We were romantically involved at the time, but we were in our addiction, so it wasn't like a real girlfriend boyfriend relationship. You know, this was back in the 2016 relapse I told you I had. This girl, we went down to Kensington, got dope. She used it in the car on the way back to the county, and she passed out in my car. She passed out in the seat, literally overdosed in my seat. I had to stop on the highway. I had no Narcan with me. I had to smack her back to life, literally wake her up, put cold water on her,
Yeah,
bring
they
her
say you have
back.
to smack
I
them
would
in the chest.
drive. She would go back out. I'd have to bring her back. Right? Listen, I brought her home that night and or later, right? I did bring her back and she was okay and she was fine for a while. I brought her back, right? I brought her back and I didn't want to stay with her that night because I was in my own thing. I didn't want to be with her. And I was stupid because I left that she still had the same dope. And she wound up using that night and she died. Literally died. I had to call
Dude,
her mom the next day and her mom told me that she found
my
her in the
friend was telling
basement.
me, yeah, friends and
Fucking
call.
horrible.
My friend said
I'll
that
never forget that.
he got the call like an hour later,
I
dude.
feel
Like
bad for
there was a
that
girl
family.
that we knew, and there was a guy that we knew. He's still alive. The girl passed, but they had given him dope with fentanyl on it. They didn't even notice because they said it looked the same color, whatever the fuck. I don't know what it looks like. But the girl passed
It's
right
white.
away. She
Fentanyl's
did a
white.
she did a whole line. She passed.
White
As
powder.
soon, she just got up and fucking passed, and they had her on life support. But the guy, my friend said that when he got there, the first thing he did is he tried to give him CPR, whatever didn't work. So he starts like literally punching his chest, and he gasped for air, and the ambulance got
That's what
there.
she was doing. She was
Eh, eh,
gasping for air in my
yeah,
passenger seat.
yeah, that they said that you have to hit him like to make the heart move or something. Hit him right in the
You
chest.
gotta
That's what happened.
massage their sternum. You gotta massage their
Something like that.
sternum. That
Eh,
moves their heart around.
yeah, and then he got to the hospital. He said they fixed him up to like with the
That's what
fucking
I did.
the IV or
Massaged her
whatnot.
sternum.
And then
And
when
I had to smack her a couple times.
yeah,
I
they
literally
my
had
friend
to.
smacked him three
She
times
wasn't
for
gonna
him
wake up
to
if I
pick
didn't
up.
smack her.
Yeah, that they didn't, and then he told what happened, and everybody was in shock because there was a person in the house that
It's fucked
when all
up,
this was
man. I could have
happening,
lost her then.
and still came up on the person and left them there for dead. Waited an hour to call for help, and when they got there, they weren't able to help her. They were doing the same as him, but she was already gone, and then they saved them by. They said if they would have like 15 more minutes, the guy would have passed. So they were there just in time to save one of them. My friend still feels guilty that they couldn't save the girl or whatever. It was crazy. He said he has nightmares, like
I
literally
do
nightmares.
too, Puffy. I have the same nightmares of that whole scene going on coming back from the city. And then that night I was partying with other people,
Well, yeah,
you
the thing
know,
is,
completely
the family of the
selfish while she's all by herself and
he
she's
went he
getting,
went he went to
she
the hospital.
used.
He went to the
So,
hospital just because they had her on life support or whatever. He went to the hospital, saw the parents, and he just like, fuck. You know what I mean? That's the first word that came out of his head, like, fuck, I'm gonna have to see and explain to them what happened, and I couldn't do nothing. So the guilt is there, but the parents said that it wasn't nothing that he could have done anything. But he's
yeah.
all like, yeah, but you don't understand. That was my friend. You know what I mean? It's like I don't understand how to explain that or whatever. It's crazy,
Well,
dude.
the only thing that brought her out of it was my constant attention on the sternum area and you know, having to put the cold water on her and
Dude,
me just
I had
literally shaking her. I had
another
to
friend.
shake her and I had to smack her and I
Dude,
got her back to life. She was alive,
I
but
never knew what an overdose was until I met
I left her
my friend.
alone.
They call me and they're
You
like,
have
come
to
help me.
use, listen, you have to use in pairs when you're with dope because if you go out, somebody needs to be there with Narcan
Exactly, but
to bring you back.
some people get too scared that they
So
rather
they
go.
use in pairs now down in
Look, this
Kensington
is what
because
happened.
everybody's overdosing.
This is what happened to my friend.
So
His
it's
girlfriend,
crazy.
instead of trying to help him out, she was trying to get rid of everything that was incriminating for them. Okay, and while he was fucking bending, like he was in heroin, he was like folded all kinds of shit. It was crazy. I never felt somebody so heavy, like heavy as I put
Yeah,
it
it's
on
dead weight.
medicine.
It's dead weight.
And I was like, "What are you?" I never seen that. I didn't know what to do, and then just started fucking like smacking the shit out of his face, and he starts coming a little bit to like, I'm coming, I'm coming." Instead, it's more like his soul coming back or whatever you call it. That's how I felt. And what she was, I'm like, "Dude, you supposed to help me here? How you expect paramedics to fucking go through the door when he's on the door?" I could barely fit myself through the door. So it's like, fuck. But he
Yeah.
was heavy ass. I've never seen somebody or had to move somebody that heavy. You know what I mean? If he would have
Well,
passed,
let
I
me
would.
tell you another story. Truth junkie. I had that happen to me. I one time I was using in a bathroom in Kensington, and it was like on Aramingo. It wasn't even in Kensington. It was on Aramingo Avenue. There's no bathrooms you can even use in Kensington. None of the shop owners let you use their bathrooms. No, you can't get a bathroom. Everyone just it goes to the bathroom in the street, and that's why it smells so horrible there, literally. But what happened was I was in the bathroom and I used and I passed out, and then I woke up to somebody banging on the door really loud, and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Who's in there?" And they were trying to break the door. They were literally trying to break the doors, one of them heavy steel doors. And I got out of there, and I was in there for he said an hour and a half. I didn't realize. Yeah, I fucking went out on
Yeah,
the
some
dope.
people don't even know. And then when I realized, somebody told me, if you do heroin, you're not supposed to fall asleep. And I kept asking why. If you hear snoring, you better knock the shit out of them to wake up. I'm like, why? Why? I never understood why. Now I know that's when
I
they
used to
overdose.
use extra when I was really bad to see if it would so I wouldn't wake. I mean, I wasn't trying to commit suicide, but I would do extra dope to try to not wake up. So maybe that is suicide. I don't know. I just didn't care. Like I was reckless with the dope. You
When
feel me?
I
I didn't
helped
care
my
if I
friend like
overdosed.
stop using heroin, dude, they had major calm down. I never thought it was that bad, dude. It was like bad, like
Oh yeah, it's
crazy.
like if
It's too
any
crazy.
parent has to go through a kid with heroin stuff going on or fentanyl now, there's no heroin left. It's all fentanyl. It's all
Yeah.
fentanyl. It's all xylazine. It's all tranquilizers that eat your body away. If you look at the videos in Kensington, people are losing their fingers, their legs, their feet, their arms. One of my really good friends who was drop dead gorgeous like a model. I actually was with her at one point. She was, oh my God, she was so beautiful, so gorgeous. And this girl is in Kensington right now in a wheelchair because she can't walk because her legs are so bad from the dope. It is. I fucking cried when I talked to her. Shit's fucked up, you know.
Yeah, but some people are quick to judge instead of knowing what really is going on.
And I don't. I want her to get out of there so bad, but you know, it's gonna take so much. Like she has to really want it, and she doesn't have. See, I'm lucky, guys. Like I had support. I tell you how good my family is. I had a loving family. My father went to war for me down there, trying to get me out of that neighborhood. My mother, you know, like it was just. If I didn't have those parents, I would not have made it. Would not have made it. And a lot of people don't have family. Their families are done with them because of them stealing from them and, you know, doing all these horrible things to them. Their families are saying, "You're done. Get out of the house. Don't come back until you're sober." And no support until you prove yourself. And people, you know, it's hard. It's a difficult situation.
If you don't get the support, at least think of something that will make you come out of it. It's hard for some people to do that, but where there's a will, there's a way, and people will come help if they know you
You
really
know what,
want it.
Puff? There's support out there, though.
Yeah, I know,
If you
but
don't
some
have a
people don't see
family
that. You
in
know, when you're
Philly,
close-minded because you're using too much, you don't even think of a possibility. You
no,
only
you
see
don't.
negativity.
You know, but listen, if you're like, say people are in where I live in Kensington, right? If they're using down there and they want to get help, you can literally, if you want, go to a shelter, get a caseworker at Prevention Point, have them get you into a rehab. And then when you get out of the rehab, go to a halfway house, stay on a waiting list, and then eventually get low income housing
Yeah, right
and
here
really
they give
start to
you
build your
right here.
life.
They help you here. They pay a whole year, and you just gotta
There's
go to some classes,
agencies
and you
out
do
there
it
to help
again and
you.
stuff like
You
that.
got to
Yeah, there
take the
is. You
help.
just gotta want it.
People always say there's no help, but there really is help. Even in Kensington, they try to say, "Oh, there's just too many people, not enough." That's not true because a lot of those people aren't from Kensington. They can go back to where they're from and go to rehab there.
The only thing
Understand?
is that if they'll help you even to get there, you just gotta want to actually change. If you don't want to change, then that's on you. They're gonna tell you straight up because they're trying to give you all the possibilities and all
It's a
the easy
fact.
ways out. Yeah, so it's just
That's a
crazy how
fact.
people.
Love starved. And I'm lucky that I have my family to give that love. But you know, at the same time, it makes it hard to develop and keep relationships when you go through things like we've been through. Like it's hard for me to meet somebody, trust them, let them meet my children, and actually build a solid. Like I'm really messed up in the head is my point. You know, I got a lot of a lot of issues. I could be really selfish at times. I have severe depression at times where I isolate myself and I won't call Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be in my own head, and then I'll go on YouTube, right? And I'll act a fool so that it'll take my mind off of what I'm really going through. You understand? And like it's a distraction to me, and that's why YouTube is an addiction. It's almost like I've substituted in a way.
Yeah, but
You
some
know?
people just think we do it for fun, I guess, because they just feel like nobody can leave it. If they were in that situation, they would understand, but they don't. They're just quick to judge, and people don't see how
Yeah.
much it affects people.
Motherfuckers don't care, man. They just judge because they think that everybody's supposed to be perfect and nobody. But the bottom line is, and that's why they judge on YouTube. And this is the bottom line on YouTube with that. They don't want to look bad, and they want to use your weakness when they get mad at you. That's when people really troll you, when they're angry with you over something. We're not getting trolled right now in the chat. You know what I mean? But like when you have people that you are on a certain channel and you talk some shit to them, say you talk some shit to somebody, right? You're on a channel and you start an issue with somebody. You start saying shit, you start picking at them, and that person swings back with that word that cuts deep. Well, you know, you have
Yeah,
to understand that like people are going to use that against you, especially when you go after people on
see,
the internet.
some people, yeah, it's hard to talk about shit like this because people will come at you. The aftermath is so like, they make some people get, if they're barely starting getting in their recovery, yeah, bites them in the ass to them. They start going into depressions. But if you have a long time already, you already know what's could and could not happen, the pros and cons out of it. But you shouldn't care why, because hey, at least you did it. You got out of it. At least you tried and you did it. Some people just never come back. That's what you gotta understand. You know what I mean? You're still here. Make the best out of it. You only live once. Like I tell everybody, you are born alone. You live alone, and you die alone. You don't bring nothing. You don't take nothing. Just be you. Who's gonna be happy? You or them? So make sure you satisfy you, not satisfy them. Nobody's ever gonna land under people's expectations. There's no expectations in your life. Only the ones you want to having your life, which is on your own, not on everybody. Are you on everybody's clock? Then pay. Tell them to pay you. Working for them since you're everybody's time and expectations is never gonna. It's like a job, I guess you could say, if you're doing that. Just let it go, like the Frozen song goes. Let it go, or
Yeah.
cope, either or.
Oh man, it's
Just remember,
you know,
nobody's perfect. Nobody makes you. Nobody breaks you. Unless you want it, you break yourself and make yourself. You decide. Fuckabilities or responsibilities. Be
yeah.
happy. Be happy on your own. Don't be happy because of somebody else. Be happy on your own. You lose
Yeah, we
yourself.
both have kind hearts. Me and Puffy both do.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of people nowadays that don't look at people for who they are. They look at people for, let me see what you bring me or have me. You know, nowadays it's so fucking different. Like I tell everybody, meet a person for who they are, not for what they got. What is what they got gonna help you with? They got it, not you. You know what I mean? It's like meet somebody for who they are. Actually, meet a person. Know them for who they are.
Talk to them. Yeah, talk
Yeah,
to them before you sleep with them or, reveal your most inner, darkest secrets to them.
because
I don't
sometimes some
trust
people
easy,
you
Puffy. I don't
me
trust
neither.
people
Me neither. I
at
feel like I'm
all.
gonna lose them or because he betrayed me or
Especially
something
more
like
so
this.
now on
Yeah.
YouTube. YouTube has made me really not trust anybody.
And if
And
I
I
got
had a
something to
really
say
bad
for
experience with
years,
people I met on here. And
I will
I
never
won't
talk to
ever trust
anybody back.
anybody I meet on here again.
Hey,
That's
I'm
a
like
fact.
so like I outburst without the I think out loud you could say. So I will never talk shit about nobody behind
You
their back.
get
I
burned when you
literally
trust people.
yeah, and I actually don't tell you exactly what I'm thinking. If I got something to say, I say it. I'm not. Like my mom says,
Yeah, I respect
I
that.
don't know what shame is, and I don't know what embarrassment is. I'll go straight out and say, "Hey, you're doing.
There's a
You're
lot of
fucking
people that'll play
wrong."
games though. They'll play
I love it.
fucking games with you, and then they'll play with your emotions. They'll play with your heart. They'll play with everything, and then when you trust that person, it fucking you wind up really feeling some
My
pain.
kids
So
tell me because I
it's
tell
better
them
not to trust.
I read a person. How do you read a person? They tell me the way they act. Some can be shady ways, and some can be smart ways, and some can be a fuck you ways. And they're like, "There's three ways." Yep, figure them out.
Yeah,
That's the only way.
trust is earned. That's a fact.
Hey, my kids
But
might not be like they say mature because they think childish. I'd rather have them child mentality than have them think they're fucking gonna go do stuff adult ways when they're really teens. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
rather have that. Hey, I'm not gonna say I'm proud of them being childish, but they're kind. They're very kind. They're very respectful. They're very all kinds. You know what I mean? But everybody they're like, hey, you taught them good. I'm like, I taught them. What I teach my kids, it's old school. It's old school ways. That's all. Before we had a
Yeah.
structure. Now you tell them something, they want to beat you to the. I'm gonna do it my way. That is. I don't like arguing. My kids know that if you argue with me, it's like, no. She's like, not gonna wait. But now kids in days, you can't even tell them something because they think they're better than their own parents. It's like so like they're taking over their parents. If you let that happen, I feel so bad because gaining control is gonna be hell. But just remember, mind over power, and you got this. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Well, I think I don't. Nobody really had any questions to say. Do you have anything you want to say in closing? Because I'm gonna end this one, and then I'll probably start one again at like 9 and do like a couple hours until Mr.
Okay.
P goes live,
Just
and then
remember,
because I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. I have work
yeah,
tomorrow. And
I
all
got an
that.
appointment tomorrow with my daughter too at the Behavior Hospital. Well,
Do
just
you?
remember, yeah.
Oh, how's that gonna go?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna find out. It's my for my 4-year-old because she's hyped and all that. They want to see if she doesn't have ADHD. Hopefully she. Well, I think she does because she's really hyped. She has attitude problems too. But yeah,
Yeah.
she's funny though. But like I said, everybody be careful how you say it, be careful how you tell it, and be careful who you tell it to. And first and foremost, pay attention. If you have a close friend you want to help, just pay attention. Sometimes it can bite you in the ass, sometimes it can backfire, but at the same time, you will know how to handle it. Don't let nobody take over your life. Don't ever let nobody control you. You control you. Live life the way you want to live. Don't let nobody take your joy away. That's what my music teacher used to tell me. Don't let nobody
What
take your joy
instrument did
away.
you play? What instrument?
I was learning how to do the
I played the
like,
trumpet, so.
my son is the drum. My son's the drum. So imagine how my
Oh, it's
autistic
loud
son
there, I bet.
that yeah no that's too loud. My autistic son that is 3 is trying to play the drums now. I put him on YouTube to make sure that everybody heard that he loves music, dude, to the point where he learns everything, plays
You're
it the
funny.
same. My music teacher was amazed when he was playing the fluorophone. I don't know what's it called, but he was listening to the YouTube music thing that they send us, and then he would play it himself, and we would trip out like he's only 2 and he was playing that shit. And then he got to when he turned 3, he went to the drums. So when he heard my son play the drums, he was playing. He was trying to flip the stick, and it was crazy. It was I was like he's 3 and he's learning all this shit. So I know all my kids like music. I have my 13-year-old, my 12-year-old. They can play that thing that's in church, those big old, those big old things, and then they can play every instrument. All my kids can play the instrument. So yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. You're talking about the bass drum, I think.
No. That thing that looks like a piano, but it's not a piano.
Oh, what are they called?
That's the
Oscilloscopes,
I have no
I
fucking
think.
idea. I just know it's a big
No,
ass thing. They had it at the
damn it.
Monster House. Remember the monsters? The
Pipes.
Saga?
Oh, what are they
Yeah,
called?
something
I
like
think
that.
it's a oscilloscope, maybe.
I have no idea, but I just know they can play anything that is huge. And then my son wants a
Oscilloscope.
guitar that has a piano on it, like the guitar with the piano. I don't know what's it called, and he always tells me gets mad because I don't know what it's called. But he wants one of those, so I'm trying to get him one for Christmas. The it's a guitar,
Oh,
and then every time I see him with one of those, I remember that dude, the duck. What's his name? Harold the duck. That with the guitar. Remember that movie, Harold the duck, the big
yo,
old
what
duck.
up, Quick Vic?
Hey, quick! Remember that
Shout out to
duck
you,
with the
Quick.
guitar? The big old duck with the guitar. That's how I always tell him, Harold the duck. But yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
want to say, guys. Just be yourselves. Don't let nobody take over your mental health and yourself and life and whatever. Be
All
happy.
right, here's a question. Here's a
Yes.
question for you, Puffy. Here's a question for you.
Ooh, I
And
bottle up a lot.
I'll answer it as well. But answer that, and then he also,
How do
this
I
is a
control
follow
my
up. Like, what
emotions?
techniques? What techniques
I
have you
draw.
learned?
I let all my emotions in my drawings. When I draw something so good, you'll know that my emotions on it. When it's something so quick and whatever, it's not that I paid attention. That's why when I draw in the dark and it comes out perfect. And it's crazy, but it's don't ask me how I do it because I don't even know myself. But if I draw in the dark and I let all my emotions into my drawings, you'll see a perfect art. I go back to my I got good arts. That is like you wouldn't even know I made it because I sometimes just do like just for fun and I just let it be. But when it's me focusing on it and me wanting to do it and I'm in my emotions, you'll see a lot out there. Like it's a perfect drawing. Like people trip out. Like the cat, you saw the difference between the cats and other drawings. The cat looks so realistic. That is, I did that in dark and in my emotions Because the cat that I have, I'm gonna tell you the backstory to that one. Is my daughter gave it to me.
Xylophone. That's right. Xylophone.
There you go. Remember I told you that the I have my daughter that she's older already and she had cats. Okay, she had cats, and this is the cat that never went away. Okay, never. We gave all the cats out except for that one. Her name is Harley Quinn. She's an evil cat sometimes.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I named her Harley Quinn. Don't ask me why.
Fucking
She's
love
crazy.
Harley Quinn.
She's crazy. Um, and
Hell
she
yeah,
thinks she's
love
a
my
parrot
Harley
sometimes.
Quinn.
Dude, one time she attacked me and like was on my face that like she got her nails on me. Hi Tim Hennessy, that's my hubby right there.
Shouts out to Tim.
He sends me a lot of art stuff, so that's pretty cool. I like Tim. Tim's cool. And then like
Yeah.
my cat is my attachment to my older daughter. Since I don't have her clothes, I got attached to my cat. So every time they tell
What's
me
good, ATG Barn? Can someone drop What's Your Story TV's link in the
they're
chat for
like,
me?
if I get rid of that cat, it's like me separating myself from my oldest daughter. You know what I mean? Because that's her cat. So it's like, don't get messed with the cat. I get offended.
Well, I seen you going to the gym. Like I work it like when I get really up
that's
in my like I work out. That helps me a lot.
I
Like I'll
prescribe
ride
to
my
go to
bike all over this
the
neighborhood and just escape my
Oh, I just got a
head.
bike too. I just got a BMX bike.
Bike
I got
riding
it.
is awesome,
Yeah.
and I do it with my kids. Oh man, we have so much fun together.
And my
We
kids
go
are
through
too
the wood
tall. Like,
trails
I
and stuff.
can't do this with this bike, moms.
Yeah.
I'm too little with the BMX bike. I'm like, yeah, that's why I got it for me. If you give me your bike, I eat shit. That fucking big old bike, I can't. I can't.
And you usually draw so well, Puffy. They're giving you big compliments in the chat for your skills in
Thank you.
drawing and going to school and everything you've
Like,
shown us and
all
stuff.
I know that I've learned a lot when I went to art class this time. I did things that I didn't know I could do with charcoal. What I did, you know, I was like, wow, that's so cool. It's easier. Yeah, I learned a lot more stuff than I thought. And my daughter's doing the same degree as me. So
Well, this is what I got to say. Like nobody has any room to say anything about you because every time I see you on anybody else's panel or a stream, you cam up and you show what you're doing. You're either in class trying to better yourself, in the gym trying to be healthier, relieving tension or stress, or fixing your car. You know what I'm saying? You're always busy doing something, being proactive. Man, these haters, they got nothing on you. You need to know that. And you're such a good mother doing that all by
thank
yourself
you.
all by
And it's funny
yourself.
how
Like
they come
I
at me
told you
because I
earlier
am
in the
like,
stream, I
"What?"
envied that, like in a big way.
Anybody can
I
do
really
it if
do.
they put their mind to it. And yeah, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard as fuck. But if you want to do something and you love it for who you're doing it for, you be super mighty mouse. You know what I mean? Like you do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it.
Well, you can put your mind if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything they say. So yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Whoever talks bad about me, I'm like, okay, if you say so, if you think that way, want to be that way, I really don't care because I know what I'm doing and I know I'm cool with myself and I love myself and that is what it is.
But is it always like that? Because I'll be honest with you, even when I have support here, it isn't always like that for me.
I guess I'm not
I'll be
used
up
to
in my head a
if
lot.
people come
You
and
know.
support me is like from where I live, like my way. I'm always been by myself, so I don't never had somebody support me. It's like I gotta think how I'm gonna survive the next day or how I'm gonna. I used to be that way. I always thought that way. It's like myself is I gotta do this by myself. And when people try to help me, I try. The last thing I would do is ask for help. And then now think still about it. If I really need to, I'll try my hardest not to ask for help because I feel like they'll throw it at my face or they'll bite me in the ass or you know what I mean. So I've always done things by myself. I refuse to ask for help.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. I mean, I appreciate you sharing that because I told you I envied that. I had support. And, with my kids, I mean, with the amount of money that I make, it would be extremely hard. So I know what you're going through,
For me,
and,
it was the opposite. With my kids, my family, their family will come tell them it was all my fault I was the bad person. In my family, both ways, my dad and my mom, I'm the black sheep. So for everybody to come and help me out, it's like what the which I never got. So when they do, it's like what you want, what you need, or what's going on. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. And then that's why I tell people, you guys might have support. You might. The only support I had was me and my friends that are in the streets, which are dead now, which I miss a lot because now I can't run like that much to anybody. To my main ones, my mama bear, my friend that passed away because the girlfriend let him die, and then my friend she died of suicide. They say she hanged herself, but I don't believe she hanged herself. And then little things like that, like the people, my friend that knew he was gonna pass away, they gave him a hot shot. He died in jail. Shit like The way
No,
I
that is a
remember them
great
is a
point.
good thing, and I remember them, and they did
Leave that
things that
up
they never
there.
done for other people. They told me, like my friend Pitt that passed away that in jail, he would wake up in the middle of, like, it was 6 o'clock. He knew I was coming out of the parent classes or whatever. He would ride his bike, and everyone's like, he never done that for nobody. That's some weird thing that he gets up. And he would get me pizza, and he would give me this because I was pregnant. He would defend me and
Oh,
all kinds of
definitely got to
stuff.
address this comment.
And you know
All
what I
right,
mean?
so let me ask you this question: do you have a sponsor?
Who, me? No.
Yeah, I don't either, and I'll explain why in a second. He's right. I'm not going to say he's wrong in that comment because that is right. Like, you really do need to get all that crap out of your head and dump the negativity into something else. Um, I did go to NA and AA for a little bit while I was in the recovery
You
house
know that
before I
I
went to
use the
jail.
AA, and it kind of got me back into using because there's a lot of users in there. So I didn't
Yeah,
think
I was
that
just
was
gonna
gonna
say
help at
that. Yeah.
all. So like I
I met.
quit.
This is what I did in NA. Like, there's a lot of clicks of people in NA. I got a sponsor when I went there, and he was good for me for a little bit. He really did help me down. He would bring me to meetings. I met a new girlfriend, of course, right away, because that's just what I fucking do. Because I can't concentrate on myself ever. I can't love myself ever. It's always got to be something like a distraction. You understand? So I wasn't even taking it that seriously to begin with. think I got 13 stepped by some other woman that was in there for like 3 years and had 3 years sober. And what happened was we wound up relapsing. She got with me, and then we relapsed, and then my sponsor relapsed. So that was a real bad experience at that time. I went back again to different meetings, um, and I kind of I didn't have the same experience, but I also didn't feel like I was welcome there because of my situation. My situation's a lot different than the people that go there every day. Those people don't take meds to help them get through their day. If they do, it's like an antidepressant or something that's non-narcotic. Like the fact that I take methadone, I mean, I was hated on in a couple of the meetings I went to, and it gave me a real sour thought about AA and NA and CA for that matter. So I stayed away from all the A's, and I just basically went to
That's what
church.
I told my mom. I'm on A,
I
but
went
I
to
told her in
church.
Spanish. Yeah, I told my mom AA is for about an addict or about to use. So I gotta go. AA.
Yeah, exactly. But I went to church, Puffy, and I turned to God and I begged God for help. I begged him for help. I got on my knees and I started to go to functions at the church and I started to meet new people at the church. And I have like people I can call if I want to, but it's hard to call people too.
Have
It's
you
hard to
ever
call
done
somebody and
what
just
thing that
dump
that
your shit on them. That's not
you got
easy to
out of
do.
one thing and you fell into another and you felt like life was unfair to you? Like every time
Yeah.
you got out of one and another one came and another one came and you felt like you just kept falling into a
No,
deep
you're
hole,
right.
no light out,
You're
no
dead right,
light out.
Mr. P. He's definitely right. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't holding myself accountable. I have problems with that. I when
You
people
know
check
that
me on
the
things, I
thing is,
lash out at them. I lash out every time.
even if I had to blame somebody or why I did this or what, I never had that because I knew what I was doing. I was to my mind. I knew what it was. I never blame nobody. I always say I know what I'm doing. I know I did it on to hurt myself, but it's like why not give myself that oh shit I fucked up status and why say oh I fucked up because this person made me fuck up. I can't do that. I can never blame nobody for
Yeah,
my actions because I'm a hold of in conscience on that I know I did it myself. I know
I
I
have a
can't
real
tell you
problem with
I can't do
taking
that.
constructive criticism. I lash out, and I need to be better with taking
Oh,
advice
I
and
hate when people
not
don't
taking
criticize me and
offense.
tell me straight what it is. If you're not straight up with me, it's like, why might I be straight up with you? You can't be straight up with me. Don't. Are you gonna like? I tell my kids and whoever I'm with, if you're gonna let me go out without an eyebrow and not tell me I'm not having an eyebrow on, it's like you failing me on telling me somebody's talking shit about me. You know what I mean? It's like you're not telling me exactly what's going on. You're letting me go out like a circus looking person outside, looking at a clown and everybody laughing, but you know what's going on, but you don't tell me, hey, you're missing an eyebrow. You know what I mean? It's like just tell me. If you see something wrong, if you think I'm doing something, let me know. Sometimes I don't even know I'm doing something wrong. I have to be told sometimes. But that's not because I don't want
Yeah,
to notice it. It's because I don't know. I straight up tell you, I didn't even know I was doing that. Like they'll tell me, oh, a certain person is talking to you, like flirting with you. I won't even notice because I don't see it. I don't pay attention to that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like If somebody tells me, oh, they're talking shit in front of you, you're not noticing. It's like, if I want to pay attention to fuckability, I will not listen to what I really got to focus on. And if I'm going to listen to, oh, let's see what you got to say about me, I don't give a flying F if you got issues with me. Just keep it to yourself, but let me know. And I won't fucking even bother trying to go to your house or the channel or whatever. I don't give a damn. If you have an issue, just let me know. If I don't know you, I won't change, but let me know. At least I know. You know what I mean? Because I know I am
Yeah.
annoying. I say that out loud and proudly. If you tell me shut the fuck up,
He
I
said
still won't
proudly.
do it. But
He said
you know what I
proudly.
mean? But it's true. I'm proud of being myself.
You're not
I'm not,
annoying. Don't say you're
hey,
annoying. You're
I
not
annoy myself
annoying.
sometimes. I'm not
You
gonna
just
lie.
talk fast. That's all. You're not
Hey,
annoying.
hey, you're gonna tell me like my friend Weedy
You
says,
have a lot to
Monica.
say, Puffy. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you're annoying.
No, I
Who
told
calls
my
you
mom.
annoying?
Hey, I told my mom, I don't see you from. My mom goes, yeah. You try to tell me from the last time I left to when I'm gonna leave again, and you try to make sure you tell me everything. She tells me.
Oh, babies in the background. I miss my boys being little.
I know they
I
grow up so
really do.
fast.
You know what I do, Puffy? I see these 4-year, 6-year memory pictures on Facebook, and I start to really
Oh,
get
I did that the
emotional.
other day. I started crying. I might tell
I
my
can't
eldest daughter,
stand those
"We were
emotional things because
so
I put up so many
little."
pictures of my kids on social media, so they come back all the time with memory
Oh yeah,
shit, and I'm like,
the
oh, I
memories.
miss my
Hey,
babies.
I remember like I have
Yeah,
a dress, a Harley Davidson dress. All my girls wore it.
yeah, it's hard. Shit's
And
hard, man.
my daughter took it with her. I have her Roly Poly Oly. Remember Roly Poly Oly from Disney? I have them still intact in the
Uh,
box. That's the last
I
thing
don't
I have
know.
from her. And now that she's having a baby, she's gonna put it in this box with her dress. And everybody
Miss
goes, "That's
Dang,
so
I bet.
little." What is that? And never.
I bet Miss Dang. She says she never shuts up when she's supposed when people
Hey,
tell her to shut
hey,
up. She
I'm gonna
never
tell you
shuts
this.
up.
I'm gonna tell you this. Like I tell
She
everybody.
never shuts it.
I don't see people that often because I barely go out and I barely had any friends. So when I see a lot of people, it's like,
Yeah,
oh
Miss
hell,
Dang's
that
funny. I
battery
love
starts
her.
charging and I can't stop talking. And I'm sorry, but at least
Yo,
I want
y'all
to
were
be talking.
crazy in the chat last night. I'm just gonna keep it real, man. That shit. I just watched the replay of that shit. Holy shit!
I'm gonna tell you
What
like
the
what
hell were
Mama
you
tells
doing in
me.
the chat last night?
Hey, give me a hard word
Y'all
to say,
wasn't
and
even paying
you
attention
keep
to
it,
half
and
of
I
it. I
won't talk.
missed it.
I don't know. I don't know. I missed a lot of things
Gotta
lately.
pay
I
more
mean,
attention.
I know. I can speak
Nah,
Spanish and everybody gets
this was
mad.
great
You don't
though.
understand. And I'm like, you're not Nintendo, but I will explain to you.
I think
I'll
we
tell
had a
you.
good. I think we did a good thing here.
Yeah, I
Do
feel
you
like
want to
so.
do this again? Maybe like
It's up
maybe
to you.
next weekend?
Yeah, just let me know what
On
y'all want
maybe
to
like a
do.
Sunday afternoon again, we could just do like a stop drug
Hey,
abuse
you're making me
live, and we
oversleep
could get
by lighting shit around
and
my
we can
car.
just vibe about what we went through and what it's like living in our situations, and we could talk about what we I didn't cover everything in this story. There's lots of
I
things
know.
I left out,
I know, me too.
so
I left a lot of
we
things
should
out.
do it again, definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
this is
And,
I like talking to you.
now that everybody, if anybody has any questions, anybody want to know
And
anything,
if anybody else wants to join that too, like if there's another recovering addict that has a story they like to tell,
we gotta
seriously, I'm gonna
open
put
them
that on
up.
my community wall. I'll
And
invite
yeah,
people to come up and join us,
some
and
people it's
we can
easier
all
for them
tell
to
our
share.
stories together
Yeah, if it
and
helps
try
you,
to get a real
let it
solid
out.
support group going.
That always helps. If you let it out, that always helps. Don't. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah,
Block the negativity. Don't give a damn what the trolls gotta say. Why? Because if it's helping you make you better, do it. If it's nobody,
yeah.
I'm not gonna judge you. That's for fact. I'm not gonna judge you. I rather let it out. And if I can help you, I'm gonna help you. You know what I mean? I've helped a
This
lot
is
of
what I
people.
think we should do, Puffy. Right? This is what I think we should do next weekend, and forever upon. Right? I think we should basically do this again, but do it on your channel. I'll try to get as many people over there as I can. Try to get people because my channel's become a shit show at night. So if we continue to do this, I'd have to probably get a new channel or something. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like this channel is just the night show. It's just a shit show. It's turned into one. I want to have good conversations, but the recovery stuff. These streams that we do on the Sunday afternoons. I'd like to be able to maybe start talking, and then maybe later on, people will get enough
Let me
courage
say
to
something real
come up and
fast.
tell their story, and we could
I'm gonna
develop a
tell you
support
something.
group out of
Wait,
it.
wait. Let me tell you one thing. If
So
you have
I don't know.
narcissists in your life and you feel like you can't get out, holler at me. I'll help you out.
Okay, narcissist, narcissist. Oh God, yeah, like Yeah, because that nighttime show is and I have something I need to say tonight on the show, and it's very important. But anyway, I think maybe we should do this again next weekend. If you want to do it here, we can. But I think I would like to do it on your
From
channel
now
and try to
on, we
help
should
you.
do mental health and drug addiction, and it's a lot of outcome out of it because it's a lot of people feel lost because they can't run to nobody and
Yeah,
say nothing. I'm gonna straight out tell
and
you,
I think if
I
we
was
talk about it more and more, people will come up.
yeah,
What's up,
and like I
Cutthroat?
said, don't worry about nobody judges you. I ain't gonna judge you. He ain't gonna judge you. We all have our stories, and we probably can help
Yeah,
people understand their family members or their friends or whatever. Yeah, it's hard because sometimes it's like, oh, they're gonna steal from me or they're gonna do. Some are overcoming. Trust me, believe me. Some are scary to be having around, but it's not because they're that person. It's the drug taking over the person. That's what I'm telling you right now. We gotta slowly
yeah.
help somebody. If you see it in their eyes, if you see that they're in there somewhere. They're in there, deep in there, but
And
they're in there. Bring them out.
And they don't listen. They don't have to you don't have to give your identity if you want to hide behind the avatar, change the name. Just come up and tell your story behind. I could put up a banner or something, and it's up to them. It's going to be up to them. But for now on, we'll just
Yeah,
vibe and
we'll
talk
try
with
to
it, and then maybe
definitely.
people will come up and join us next week, and we'll have a really good stream. We'll figure out where to do it. We'll talk about it during the week.
Anything is possible. Anything can help. Anybody that needs support. Remember, you are matter. You do have somebody that cares for you. You are somebody to somebody. So don't ever think if you're gone. Because I've thought in my life before, oh, probably if I'm gone, everybody's gonna be better without me. And then I snap into, oh, my kids need me. But if you feel lost, if you feel like nobody cares, I'll be the person to say I'll care. I'm the one that will pay attention. I'm a person that I'll be very attentive. You can't get rid of me until you tell me kick rocks. I'll leave. But besides that, I'll be like stuck like butter. But you know what I mean. If you need anybody to tell you or make you think this, you're perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's gonna judge. Fuck the world that has to judge you, and I got you. That's why you've been adopted and
That's
adapted
what's
to a
up.
puppy. Onto a puppy.
That's what's up. All right, check it out. I'm gonna end this. You stay backstage for 1 minute. I want to talk to you before I leave.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna end this now, and then I'm gonna start another stream around 9 to 9:30. I'm only gonna stay on for about an hour, hour and a half tonight. Mr. P's gonna go on at 11, and I'd like to just vibe out and chill tonight. I'm gonna go get my boys, feed them, play with them for a while, and then put my little one down, and then I'll be on. I hope you guys have a good night. Thank Puffy. Thank me. Salute. I appreciate you all coming in and listening to us and taking it seriously. Pray for the still sick and suffering. Salute.
Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love. Gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's over flesh and blood, I let the devil take my soul. Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love, but I gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's over flesh and blood, I let the devil take my soul. I gotta make something happen quick. Contemplating playing devil's advocate. There's addicts in my cast, but they ain't actors and actresses. They arms is fractured with the scars from the cause of what's happening. Packaged in that blue wrap, youngins wanna move that. They know they gon' do what they gotta to come through back. I was in that trap then, everybody knew that, cause everybody was then. Now it's like we dug in. See my man 200 pounds, now he like $110. Started with them perk 10s, damn we was bucks then. Friends we grew up with is getting life plus 10. I just sold my flesh and blood, know how much I love them. For real. Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love, but I gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's over flesh and blood. I let the devil take my soul. Take my soul, take my soul, let him take my soul. Sometimes I think I feel the devil take control. Why they gotta speak so reckless? Are they dumb? I hate this phone. Sometimes I hate this hustle life, but I be making dough. See me making dough. Audi on the payment score. Haters know all diesel on me like I'm slanging dope. Yeah, gotta take it slow. Yeah, I'ma take it slow. But deep down I know I'ma make it though. Roaches scatter wings, turn the light on. I had to get my flight on. They say I had to build myself up. They was right on. Snakes in the grass, feed the rats to the pythons. I'm down 5, no time left. Reach for the pylon, cause I'm just trying to score. I'm just trying to tour. Everybody draw. This the art of war. Cause we was in that bando, sleeping on the floor. I sacrificed for mine. What did you sacrifice for yours? I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. But if it's over flesh and blood,
Mesdames et messieurs, vous
I let the
écoutez
devil
une
take my
production.
soul. Everything I ever was came from being in the mud. Money doesn't equal love, but I gotta feed my flesh and blood. I know that I'm supposed to make changes. I ain't going back on that road. If it's over flesh and blood, I let the devil take my soul. Take my soul, take my soul, take my soul.